Good morning, world. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. We are back in the building for another morning show, man. Good morning to you out there. Got a lot to get into today. We got NFL football on the mind today. Aaron Rodgers says he's still undecided on where he wants to go. Is he really? Is he really, or is he putting on a great show, trying to lead the people on? You know how A-Rod is. Come on now, we know how A-Rod is. And then, does it really affect the Bears? Here's an interesting topic that I heard brought up on Waddle and Sylvie yesterday. And I wanted to break it down here on this show, man. Does it really affect the Bears if A-Rod's in the division or if he's not? And then, of course, getting into a little bit of NBA, we got the second half starting tonight. We got the second half of the season cracking off. We will be live for Bulls live call right here in the stew. Hope to see you there as well, man. Breaking down tonight's game. And then who's gonna move in the right direction most, who's gonna kind of stay in the same spot, who's going where in this second half of the season. We're gonna break down all that and more right here on the Morning Breeze. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us this morning, man. Let's get to the show. How y'all feeling this morning, man? I'm not gonna lie, we was out late last night. We was out a little bit late last night. I'm not gonna stunt with you. Yeah, I'm saying we was my guy. Shout out to my brother O. Got married on a Tuesday. Had I wouldn't really call it the bachelor party, kind of like the reception on a Wednesday. And I'm here with you. Shout out to the Kofefe this morning. Keeping me going. It was a fun night. It was a night filled with laughs, a night filled with good times. Hope you've recovered. I will say that. Hope you're feeling better, my guy. He was a little bit down for the count by the end of the night. But hey, that's how you rally. That's how you rally back into this. The problem for me is everything they do out in Milwaukee. So last night, 8 o'clock, probably about 7. I'm in the car driving to Milwaukee. By the way, hit that like button. Subscribe to the page if you haven't done so. We do this every day. I'm driving to Milwaukee, 7 o'clock, getting there about 8:30. Kick it with them for about 4 or 5 hours. Then got to drive back at midnight to get back here at 1:30 in the morning. Tough. It was one of those, like, I was starting to get sleepy as I saw a point that I knew was still a long way from my house. Little concerning. Little concerned, not gonna lie to you. Had my guy Jalen riding shotgun. And here's the thing, right? J Mart, if you're in here, shotgun's a very important position on a ride like that, right? Shotgun's a very important position on a ride like that. To anybody out there that's the shotgun guy rolling on a late night trip, you have to communicate. You have one job in that situation. Keep me awake. You have one job in that situation. Keep me up. Don't let me fall asleep. Keep a conversation going that's going to keep me going. Right? J Mart's silent. Whole ride home, J Mart a little silent. Not too bad. I mean, we stopped off, grabbed some Wendy's. Worse. You would think better. You would think, oh man, they got some Wendy's, man. Really got it. Hell yeah. Food in your stomach, man. Itis hit immediately. Struggling. You know what I'm saying? But we made it home, man. We back in the building. That's what everybody was like, man, it's an hour and a half ride, man. Just stay down here. I'm like, I got the show in the morning. I got a solid, I'm running off of a solid, let's see. I got into the crib about 1:45, running off a solid 3 hours and 15 minutes of sleep. And that's all you need to get it going right now. Come on now. Let's get into the sports talk. Let's get into the show. Aaron Rodgers, still undecided on where he's going to go. Oh, shout out to everybody in the chat. I ain't shout out the chat yet. We got Clayton in there, man. We got Dan in the building. Nolan in the building. What's good? Who was we got in there? Sato, New Era TV. What's going on, man? EJ in the building. What's good? Aaron Rodgers still undecided on where he wants to go. So he says. Went on Pat McAfee, kind of gave everybody the listen. If you're here for the decision, there's no decision happening here. There's nothing going on. And I'm not going to lie. Are we sick of the A-Rod drama? Are we sick of the A-Rod drama? Because we know he loves it, right? He's got Stephen A. all in a tizzy. We know he loves it, right? We know that in his day-to-day life, he gets a rise out of giving the media a rise. And so he's always looking at, hey, let's get him in here, have some fun, let's poke some fun with him, let's mess with him, let's do it as much as we can to him just to get him going. Let's fluster them, confuse them, give them something to talk about. And it works every time. Here we are talking about it. But realistically, where do we feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to end up? Realistically, where do we feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to end up? Do we feel like A-Rod's going to be a Packer for life? Does he end up coming back? Do we feel like A-Rod's going to be in Denver? Do we feel like A-Rod's going to be calling a new place home? Or is even retirement on the table here? I think the most interesting thing about the whole Aaron Rodgers situation, the most interesting thing about everything that we've seen to this point, is that it almost, like, to me, it's to a point now where it doesn't matter, right? Like it's gone so far that even if Aaron Rodgers does leave, or even if Aaron Rodgers does stay, I don't care, right? Because I look at how the NFC North happens differently. Now, as Bears fans, right? You got 36 inches of bear head back there. As Bears fans, we don't care because one way or the other, I don't think it dictates anything for us. The rest of the league, though, the team that could potentially get him. Now, here's the thing where I do care. Him leaving causes major shifts. Him leaving causes major shifts in the league, right? Say he goes out west, he goes into a whole different division. Now, Russell Wilson's like, well, I'm not dealing with Aaron Rodgers over here. Russell Wilson wants to go east. He ends up in New York. Now, all of a sudden, you're seeing all this major quarterback movement. That's where you got to pay attention to it from the repercussions of what's going to happen if Rodgers leaves. To me, that's where you got to pay the most attention to it. But I mean, honestly, I'm looking at this two different ways. Say Aaron Rodgers does leave. Aaron Rodgers had a contender here. What's he going to do with it? What's Aaron Rodgers going to do with a contender? What's he going to do with a team that realistically is going to be put together, handpicked for him to be a contender, where he was on a team that essentially was handpicked for him to be a contender? Right? Couple good running backs. Well put together offensive line. Now a little bit of injury hit them this season, but by the playoffs had Bakhtiari back. Pretty well put together offensive line. Number one receiver in the NFL right now. Didn't throw a touchdown. Hasn't been to more hasn't won more NFC championships than Rex Grossman. So what does Rodgers going to a contender really do when he was already on a contender? Mr. Classic himself with the good question here. He says, if Rodgers leaves, do you think Davante Adams leaves? I think this is a power play by A-Rod, right? I think that this is a if Aaron Rodgers is to stay, you'd better not franchise tag Davante Adams, right? You want me to stay? You pay my boy. Pay him what he's worth. I think this is a power play. You pay him what he's worth, you get me back. But here's the part that's tough, right? Say they franchise him. Is it worth it for Davante Adams to want to be there long term? Is it worth it for Davante Adams to want to be there long term? Is it worth it for Davante Adams to feel like, hey, I think that Green Bay is a place where we can have continued success? Because I don't. You saw the GM come out yesterday saying that we will be a competitive team with or without Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. Relax, dog. We'll be a competitive team with or without Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. I don't know who you're going to be competing with. What, Detroit? Because Jordan Love ain't it. I don't know how to tell you this, but Jordan Love ain't it. Possibly. I guess I shouldn't say that. We've seen him put in like the weirdest situations ever. But he didn't look ready. He didn't look prepared for the moments. Not gonna lie, the biggest reason I'm a little bit concerned about what's our new offensive coordinator's name? Luke Getsy. Main reason I'm a little bit concerned there. It's like, hey, listen, Aaron Rodgers was already doing this. What about the young guy? Not seeing a lot of development in him. And here's the real question, right? As Bears fans, and I want to know how y'all feel in the comments as well. Let me know in the comments. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page, man. We do this every morning. Also, be prepared for the show to shift. Next week, Monday, show goes from 6 to 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Six to 9 to 11 to 1. As Bears fans, do you feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to, or do you feel like Aaron Rodgers leaving the division puts us in a better position? Do you feel like Aaron Rodgers leaving the division puts us in a better position? Because this is what I keep hearing, right? Rodgers is leaving, the division is ours. Rodgers is out of here, division is ours. Rodgers is gone, division is ours. And I'm trying to figure out when Aaron Rodgers kept us from the division. It certainly wasn't last year. The 1 year we were good, they weren't a factor. I'm trying to figure out when Aaron Rodgers has really kept us from winning the division. I'm trying to figure out when Aaron Rodgers has really kept us from competing for the division. I personally think that Aaron Rodgers being in the division or out the division doesn't change anything for us. Our team has to be better. Soto says, absolutely. If he leaves, it gives us a better shot to the top, but we have to handle our business. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. Aaron Rodgers being here doesn't make a difference, if we're being honest. 5-11 ain't winning you the division. Or what is it now? 5-12? 5-12 ain't winning you the division. Aaron Rodgers being here makes no difference to me. And I don't believe it makes a difference to the Bears. All of a sudden, he drops, he owns us, and now all of a sudden, him leaving is what's going to win us a division. Not at 6-11. Not at 6-11. It's not. Chi-Town Javier in the building. Not at 6-11. It's not. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I look at Aaron Rodgers leaving as a footnote on what the Bears could be this year. Guess what? If Justin Fields is good and Aaron Rodgers is in the division, then yeah, maybe then he keeps us out. Maybe then he's the one that keeps us from winning a division. But here's the thing. When has Aaron Rodgers kept us from getting to where we wanted to go? Maybe one time. NFC Championship game. And let's be real, we let him in. We let him get to that point. Coach T is absolutely right. He says, control what you can, be better. Aaron Rodgers at no point has kept the Bears from achieving what they wanted to achieve. The Bears haven't been good enough to achieve what they've set out to achieve. You know what I'm saying? The Bears haven't been good enough to achieve what they wanted to achieve. Our record versus them is atrocious. Guess what? It's 2 games. It's 2 games in the season. You know, if we go if we lose both games to the Packers, but we go 15-2, guess what? Gonna be tough to lose the division. And we think about it. I thought about it yesterday. Great topic on Waddle and Sylvie. I thought about it yesterday when they were breaking it down. I was like, we've never really run up into Buddy. He's been annoying because he's on the Packers and they've kicked our butt for 20 years. 20 plus years. Now we in 2022. He's been annoying, right? But he's never kept us from anything. We haven't been good enough to get to anything. Honestly, when's the last time the Bears and the Packers were fighting for a division? Even when we let them in, they were a wild card team that got in, won their first. We had to buy. Gets in, wins their first game. Who'd we beat that year? Seattle, I think we beat a 7-9 Seattle team that backdoored their way into the playoffs. I think that was year before Russell Wilson wins his first one. That still might be what's his name? As the pettiest man alive in the building. Ooh, purple hoodie in the game.
Purple gang.
You definitely should wear more colors. You stand out more with your black background. Like it pops.
It's a random note.
It looked good, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Came in looking good.
So I see that you're taking the same stance as most of the national media and hopping on the Aaron Rodgers train in some way, shape, or form. I'm so tired of hearing about Rodgers.
No, I'm just more so talking about like if he leaves, what does it actually do? Like I feel like as Bears fans, we feel like Aaron Rodgers is the key to us winning a divisional championship if he's not in the division anymore. And if Aaron Rodgers isn't in the division anymore, that just means the Vikings win the division last year. Like we were 6-11. We weren't winning the division here.
I think the reality of it is we had a chance. We had a chance. We were not an Aaron Rodgers move away, Matt Nagy get out of my own way, move away from being better. Anyone who can't see that at this point just doesn't want to see it. From your receivers to your QBs, 2 QBs at this point, to several defensive players.
$18 million. How many targets he get? 60.
You know, it's clear that there was maybe not a sabotage, but clearly if you weren't part of the long-term plan, they found ways to phase you out.
Absolutely.
Which is sad, but now that you hear those stories come out, a lot of things make sense now. And you can see the rapid decline on a lot of things.
Hey, there's some players, I ain't gonna lie to you though. There's some players chiming in that should not be chiming in, dog. Anthony Miller chiming in. I'm like, fam, you were Mitch's favorite target. Like, you can't chime in. You just dropped the ball.
Yeah, that's true.
I told y'all it wasn't me. No, it was you.
But you know what? I also look at most people say $1 million players. They do this, they do that. They're still humans. They're still employees. It's all about how you're managed. If you're not managed appropriately, you're not going to do your job well. You know how many starved employees or entrepreneurs don't or leave organizations because of management? Yeah, entrepreneurs, individuals who work within a company but are absolute rock stars, money drivers for organization, things of that nature.
I've just never
Entrepreneur.
heard that term. Man, I rock with it.
Yeah.
I like that better than worker or employee.
Hey,
Sounds like you killing the game. You know what I'm saying?
you're
He's an
definitely killing
entrepreneur.
a game if you consider an entrepreneur.
You
That's for
know what I'm
sure.
saying?
So it's like, hey, what does that mean for me? One, Aaron Rodgers was in your way from winning the division. He is. Because it's Aaron Rodgers.
But when?
Any
When have
year that you thought you had a hope, any year that you
we
thought you had a
won?
chance.
We won. Every year, think about this. Every year the Bears were good, they really won the division. Like every year we had one of those flash in the pan years, they won the division.
So was it 2 years?
Yeah. The
Out
other
of
years, hey, look, the other years, we weren't close enough. We didn't have enough wins to win the division.
I believe we did. I believe we could have.
Here's the thing. If we did and he actually was in our way, that's a different story. But I feel like Bears fans feel like he's been the reason that we haven't gotten to the mountaintop. He's been the piece that's been in our way. And finally, that's not when in actuality, Bears fans just want to feel good for 2 games a year versus what we would call our rival, what I would call the person stomping our heads in. You know, we just want to be the person with the Tim's on for once, landing the curb stomp.
22 and 5.
Yeah, tough analogy. My bad.
22 and 5.
6:26 in the morning. Curb stomp analogy. but I'm just saying, like, are we legitimately thinking that Aaron Rodgers has kept us from achieving something when in actuality, it's like you said, Matt Nagy held us back. Holes on this team held us back. How this team was put together held us back. How the players on the field played held us back. That's where it starts. We haven't won enough games consistently to be like Aaron Rodgers has been in our way. We have been in our way. You know what I'm saying? Like I get the mindset. Like Aaron Rodgers keeps winning the division, but he keeps winning the division because there's nobody close. If we had 12 wins, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is in our way because he beat us twice that year. We had 6. We had 7 less than he did. But they finished with 13 wins this year, right?
I think he got 13 this year.
Yeah, we had 7 less wins than he did. If we had 5 more wins, I could understand it. And most seasons, that's how it goes. Most seasons, we're a minimum 3 games behind Aaron Rodgers. That's not him standing in your way. That's not you getting close enough to be the way. You haven't gotten on your way.
You said minimum 3 games. If those 3 games include 2 losses to him, technically, that is in your way.
I can see that.
That is in your way because we win both of those games, you win the division.
Not down 3.
Yeah, like so if it's 13, if you go 13-10, and right, so
that's
we
a
have
lot
10
of games
wins
in the season.
miraculously.
That's a lot of games in the season. You got a 23-game season right there, my boy.
Those 13 wins for him include 2 wins over the Bears. Technically, if we had won those games, we'd be 12. We'd be 12 and whatever, and he'd be, 11 and whatever, and we'd win the division. So it's just one of those things. Like, hey, it's still one of those guys who, no matter what, he dominates the division. Aaron Rodgers in your division is a problem. He moves on, great. To be honest with you, I frankly don't care about always that right there. I frankly don't care.
Hey, that's what I said. I said I really do not care anymore. Like, if he's here, he's here. If he's not, who cares? You know why? Because if he was winning on, like, everybody's like, he's gonna go to a competitor. He was on a competitor. He's gonna go to a contender. He was on a contender.
He's on a contender.
Hey, if he throws a touchdown, he's still in the playoffs. The organization didn't put a team around him. A lot of pieces.
Tom would have won a Super Bowl with that team. I stand on that. I think Tom. That's the difference between Rodgers and Tom. Tom would have won a Super Bowl with that team.
Probably not with how that offensive line was injured in the middle of the season. Because Aaron's mobility means a lot for that team. Like Aaron,
have you seen his mobility as of late?
Aaron, yeah, Aaron still moves. Aaron's still mobile.
Not really.
Oh yeah, Aaron still get out the pocket and make a play happen with his leg for sure. Now, I'm not talking about mobility like he's running 15 yards up the field. I'm just talking about being able to escape the pocket, get out of the sack, still get the pass off. Aaron Rodgers still got that. He still got that. I'll tell you who don't. Tom Brady. I'll tell you who don't. Tom Brady, dog. That man's out of here. Chi-Town Javier, I do want to see Justin beat him once before he leaves. Hey, listen, Justin might still play him. We can still root against him if he's not a Packer. I'm not going to lie to you. Him not being a Packer, I like him a little bit more.
I really don't get. Hey, listen, I want to see Justin have a good season. That's what I want. I don't care if Justin beats Rodgers. I don't care if Justin beats Patrick Mahomes. I don't care. I'm not looking at the schedule. Whatever the big name quarterback is that we're facing this season, I don't care if he beats them or not. I want him to have a good season.
Nah, I care because then it proves to me that you can do it versus the big dogs. Like, I think that the thing with Mitch was always like, when we play these teams that are on our level or below us, they come out slang that thing. They got subpar defense. They got, you know what I'm saying? But then you look at his record versus the teams that actually are above us or where we thought we were. And you're like, but you're not proving it in those games. Those are the games I want to see you play your best in. Like, I love seeing you throw 6 tutties on the Buccaneers, but I would like to see you do something like that versus a team that matters.
With the O-line we had and the game plan that we had, it's not on Mitch. When you really look at those X's and O's, it's not on Mitch.
I can't.
That's another thing I don't get, because realistically, it's funny that we say that, especially talking about Aaron Rodgers. I didn't see Aaron Rodgers outdo a lot of his competition. He didn't outdo Jimmy Garoppolo. There's no way in the world you look at that game and say Jimmy Garoppolo was Aaron Rodgers was head and shoulders above Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, poor playoff performance, absolutely. But I mean, 13 wins versus some pretty good teams.
It's a team sport, right? Your defense has to play. Your run game has to run. Like, there's a lot of factors that go into how those teams win. But for some odd reason, depending on what the narrative that we want to purport, it's that person could get it done against this quarterback. Well, that quarterback and that quarterback don't really play each other. We play the defenses of those teams. It's our QB, what our O-line could do against their defenses and stuff like that. Against those better teams, we didn't have the proper line for those teams. Nor did we have the right game plan for those teams. So it's like stop. We as fans have to stop just saying, well, he couldn't get it done against, well, newsflash, a lot of people can't get it done against good teams with the way that we were constructed and stuff. The player that we want to see develop now couldn't get it done. And he's a better talent, supposedly. But I do say supposedly. But I also rightfully so, because I ain't seen it.
Yeah, but I also don't remove 100% of blame from the player either. Like, hey, listen, you still got to be accurate. You still got to be it when the line does hold up. You still got to be able to hit people in the hands. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the part that we didn't see.
Overthrows happen, all of that stuff. That's true. All of that's true. But even the QB that we have now had those same issues. It's about your
Absolutely.
development. It's about all of that
Absolutely.
stuff.
No, I agree.
So we have to start changing the narratives, because now these players are being more vocal than ever before about what's happening behind the scenes and why certain things are happening the way they are. And now that that's happening, a lot of analysts are looking dumb as hell.
I don't know about it more than ever before. NFL players usually talk out when they upset.
They've never had platforms like they've never had the opportunities they've had now. Just
You didn't
because
need to. You had a source, and it was you. I must just be like, hey, Stephen A., let me tell you what's going on up in this one. I'm sick of Donovan McNabb, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at it as, there's absolutely a ton of blame that goes on Nagy. There's a ton of blame that goes on the scheme. There's a ton of blame that goes on what's in the building, but there's also blame that goes on the players for not performing. And for some reason, all of a sudden when we find out, the coach is terrible, that doesn't mean that your offensive line shouldn't be able to block the dude in front of them. That doesn't mean that your quarterback shouldn't be able to complete a 10-yard pass. That doesn't mean that your receivers shouldn't have to catch the ball and come down with it when it hits them in the hands. You know, like there's blame to go on both sides. And I feel like as soon as, I thought about it yesterday. I was like, I feel like Mitch's people were the first ones to be like, put all the information out there. Tell everything to happen. Because now Mitch is the best quarterback in this free agent class and is probably going to get a shot to start or at least compete for a starting job somewhere. It's a genius on their part.
As he should.
Oh yeah. Here's the thing. He's literally the best of the class. We're talking about like Mason Rudolph, Andy Dalton. Like I think Foles is still under contract somehow. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had the thought yesterday, right? And I was going to tweet it out, but I was like, nah, let me not cause mass hysteria in Bears Twitter. He's legitimately the best of the free agent quarterbacks out there. With a new regime in the building, would you give him a shot to come back and be a backup?
No. Personally, I would do it just because.
Not should Mitch come back? Should the Bears give him a shot? Because he's the best.
No.
Right now, you're rolling in there with Nick Foles as your backup.
No. If for one, I wouldn't. If I'm him, I wouldn't do it.
That I get. If I'm him, I'm not coming back. But
if I'm
saying
the Bears, I wouldn't do it because I hate to say it. Because he has more experience, now you have to deal with the fact that you could be hindering two young careers. The reality of it is, I don't think people give this enough credit, but for him to have been in a system where he can now, as he put it, play instinctual football again and just really do what he do well and be with a coach that and a staff that actually develops their QB. You see what they've done with Josh Allen. I don't think you want that QB battle in your room right now if you've committed to Justin Fields, because you may have to deal with the fact that, hey, he could be better right now. And that would divide the fan base so much. It wouldn't make sense.
To me, I feel like the biggest tell of what Mitch will be if the Giants sign him.
Definitely wouldn't go to the Giants. I know that he has to take his opportunities as they get just do.
I'm just saying your development guy just signed as their head coach.
No, I get you.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna have the best shot, now talent wise, you're not gonna have the best shot. That's a scary offensive line there. But if you're gonna have your best shot at maybe continuing that develop that we think he's had in Buffalo, that we're really basing off of a preseason game.
Washington is his best shot for me.
I'd say Pittsburgh. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like Mitch absolutely could be successful with Mike Tomlin. I feel like Mitch absolutely, because I saw Mason Rudolph have slivers of success, and I think Mitch is a better quarterback than Mason Rudolph. Here's the thing, right? Everybody thinks I want Mitch to just suck. I want everybody. What kind of hateful person is just like, yeah, I want your career to be over, be out of the league. But at the same time, I'm like, I feel like there's a cap to what he can do, and I want him to go to a team that can maximize what he can do to that cap. Washington's a good candidate for it, because I think you saw a lot of that with Taylor Heineke, whatever how you say his name, Heineken. You saw a lot of those.
Do
Go ahead.
do we believe, like, here's the part I get. Like, there's QBs who come in, they have a natural talent for certain things. They can naturally do or make certain throws, or they just they pick it up quickly. But do we just like stop? Does football not allow development of QBs? Like, at what point
Football doesn't allow development anymore.
football doesn't allow development
Think about
anymore? Like, at what point does it say, okay, he can't make that throw, but that's something he can absolutely learn to do? Like, it's almost like if he can't do it by year 3, he's not going to be able to do it for his entire career, and that's like the dumbest takes ever. It's like,
Well,
are people stagnant? Are we saying that they can't do something? Like when people say Jimmy G is only going to be a game manager, and it's like, okay, well, realistically, yeah, that's how he fit within Cal's things, but it's like he's a good QB. He can make big time throws, big time plays, and stuff like that. Anything he's deficient at,
you know what it is,
he's
though?
kind of gotten better at. Are
You
we
know what
like
it is?
ignoring the progression within QBs?
Well, here's the thing, right? There's a certain limit with some QBs that they just hit a ceiling. Ryan Tannehill is the exact same QB he was in Miami. Miami was just awful. Like, they didn't have a line. They didn't have weapons for him to use. They tried to bring in like Reggie Bush and mugs like that to pair with him, and it just didn't work. The people they brought in weren't good. The head coaches they had were not good. They finally got him with a head coach that was like, okay, we're going to work with your limitations. And we also have Derrick Henry. All of a sudden, everybody's like, Ryan Tannehill is on par with Pat Mahomes, which statistically he was. But when you have to lean on Ryan Tannehill to be more than what he was in Miami, he can't accomplish that. He continually will, like, if you got to look at him and be like, I need you to win us this game with your arm. It's like, ooh, we in trouble. And I think there's certain quarterbacks that have those limits. Like, I always feel like Brett Favre broke it down best. You know, Jimmy G's a quarterback that can hit the doorknob. Jimmy G's not going to hit the keyhole 10 times out of 10. Mitch sometimes is a quarterback that just can get it through the door. Sometimes he's a quarterback that can hit the doorknob. I think with Mitch, the biggest thing for him, and really, if we're talking about development in the NFL doesn't wait on anything. Think about how long Ryan Tannehill was in Miami. That's probably the last quarterback that was allowed to develop. Think about how long he was there, like 7 years. When's the last time we saw a mediocre quarterback stay somewhere for 7 years? We see quarterback turnover in the league every year now. When we were shorties, I just knew Cade McNown was our guy. Hey, went into every season depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Russell Wilson.
What about him?
Russell Wilson as a QB is absolutely much better as a QB today than he was when he won the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. He was second year in.
Outside the 3-year window. Dak Prescott, absolutely a better QB he's a better QB today than he was when he first hit the scene. Absolutely. No one can refute that. Lamar Jackson is a better QB from the aspect of him passing and playing within the pocket. That's actually the best analogy you can come up with right there. He's a better QB today than the pure athlete he was when he first got his shot.
Yeah.
Outside those windows. A lot of those teams, a lot of the players I just named, like Russell Wilson, they were good because their teams were good initially. You can tell because of how Pete called the games too. Russ was a good game manager initially. He was your Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe initially, and now he's like a freaking stud that I would absolutely trade for if he's. You want Justin? I'm getting Russ in today. I don't care. Skip it. I'm in win now mode. That's how I play GM. Skip you all.
Hey, I mean that's cool. Your team's not.
Hey, listen.
we got Russ. You ain't got nobody else.
Hey, we'll make it work somehow. You know, I'm gonna say
we don't have any more money.
I'm taking proven skill over maybes because he has. Hey, Justin has 2 seasons for me. That's what you all don't. Justin has 2 seasons for me.
Yeah, but that's
that point,
that's why, like your point. Do we allow development? No, because by year 2, you're going to be killing Justin Fields. There's quarterbacks that back in the day legitimately had their rookie contract to develop. Now everybody's like, we got to win a Super Bowl before this rookie contract is up. Because Pat Mahomes has done it. Because Russell Wilson has done it.
I see a lot of that's not true. And you wild. What am I wilding about? Russ absolutely wasn't the QB he was today. Dak Prescott. They all had better teams, more weapons, better coaches.
I mean,
there's a lot. They had a lot to hide deficiencies. They really did. I mean, kind of just being a fan. If you just you know what you're being.
But let's be real.
If you don't want to acknowledge
be real,
that.
kid,
they had better setups to highlight or hide deficiencies, and they had better coaches to hide deficiencies, which is the name of the game. And statistically, nothing I said was wrong.
But kid, kind of.
And I watched those games.
I mean, kind of though.
That's
like
nice.
his rookie year and his and last year's numbers are identical.
Whose?
Russ's.
Well, Russ was injured last year. So if they're identical, it's because he played less games. And he
that's a good
less
point.
Opportunities.
That's a good point. Hey, no, listen. This is the thing. But this is the thing. This is his rookie year. It's not the difference there is that those guys, you could see what they were going to be because of what they did their rookie year. It was easy to double down on them, right? 26-10, a QBR of 100 and 3,100 yards his rookie year. And an offense that absolutely was like, give the ball to Marshawn Lynch. I know, because that was my year.
Mm-hmm.
Year after that, 26-9, pretty much same dude, 3,300 yards, 101.2. That was another year where they were like, give the ball to Marshawn Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
You see him take off in year 4 when they made that transition. Because year 3, they were like, we're going to turn Russ into the star and pass at the 1.
Do you know what you see every single year except for 17 and 18? You see him get better as a QB every year. Those numbers go up.
They changed the focal point. They did that last season in 2015 in 2014 when they made it to the second Super Bowl in a row. You could tell that season they were trying to, because Marshawn was in a contract situation, they were trying to, hey, we're going to go away from Marshawn Lynch, which as a kid, I was like, you guys are stupid. Now as an adult, I'm like, I'd have went away from him. What was he, 30, at that point, 29-year-old running back? I'm not giving you the money you're looking for. But they were focusing on, let's try and phase out Marshawn and make Russ the face of that team. And they did that. And you see it in the next season. Marshawn wasn't there. Russ had to throw the ball more, 4,000 yards, 34 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Continually going higher. So I think with Russ, even with Dak, like in Dak's rookie year, you could see what he was. In Lamar's rookie year, they catered it so that you could see that he was a freak athlete. That, hey, we got to teach this kid how to pass.
Yeah, Lamar didn't have
And
much of a rookie season.
You said what?
Lamar didn't have much of a rookie season. No one ever talks about that.
No, Lamar came in at the end. Joe Flacco was still starting.
Dak Prescott.
Derek Carr. I'm just saying to see
Derek Carr
their
for sure. Derek Carr for sure.
To see their development, right? Like you looked at it and you were like, hey, he could develop into a above average QB, and then they turn into Hall of Famers. Well, at least Russ. That's really what you're looking at.
It's just so weird because statistically speaking, most of your Hall of Famers suck their first 2-3 years.
Yeah, but just like you just said, Justin has one more year and then I'm done with him.
No, I'm not. Here's the thing. It's not a matter of, let me rephrase that. It's not a matter of me being done with him. It's like, hey, situationally, the fan base will be. And then we're going to be in those talks where it's like, hey, he gets 1 year to really develop. He gets 1 year to kind of show us what he has. And now we have to talk about extensions and stuff like that. Are you going to do it? Then, no matter what happens, right? When we look back at this situation 8-9 years from now, we're either going to say Nagy screwed this kid up, which led to some iffy situations in development and stuff like that, or he absolutely just blows it out the water. There's no in between there. Like if he's not what we want him to be, as far as a fan base is concerned, it's a bust.
I think,
and that's not fair to him.
I think
that's not fair to him. It's stupid for fans.
Nah, it depends on what the
win
team
now
looks
mentality
like.
Because you see it happen statistically with very few QBs right now. You look at Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson and stuff like that, and you want that so bad. It was like, hey, newsflash, doesn't happen like that. Newsflash. I know it's the NFL is different. Still doesn't happen that way. Pipe down. Be patient. Shut up.
It kind of does. Hey,
it doesn't.
Bengals just had a dude in the Super Bowl that basically got murdered all year.
Okay. How many of those people existed?
How many of those people exist?
How many of those people? How many Joe Burrows are in the league?
How many Joe
people
Burrows
out the gate just smacked you? How many of those people are in the league?
What's my man's name on the Chargers?
Herbert,
Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes smacked you as soon as he came into the league, or as soon as he got an opportunity to start. Deshaun Watson smacked you as soon as he came in the league. That fam, I almost said it. It always blows my mind when I think back to that man rookie season, and I'm like, there were legitimately 3 tight ends on the offensive line blocking for this man. Lamar Jackson took you by storm when he finally got his PT. Russ took the league by storm, 26-10, crazy. Tom didn't. Who else in there? Aaron Rodgers took the lead by storm when he finally got his opportunity.
3 years later.
Hey, Jordan Love came in and was trash. You know what I'm saying? Like we always say 3 years later, you still got to be good. There's a lot of dudes that didn't start till 3 years later.
3 years behind a legendary QB. That's like saying Kyle Trash is going to come in and smack you, which I truly believe Kyle Trash is going to come in and smack people.
I felt the same way until I saw the Buccaneers immediately be like, we need a quarterback. I was like, Kyle not good? Kyle not doing nothing
from a development standpoint, Aaron had 3.5 seasons riding pine. I don't consider him as someone who smacks you as soon as he walks in.
Here's the thing with Aaron that nobody talks about, though. Brett really didn't help Aaron. Because they're very different quarterbacks. Brett legitimately went out there. Like the quarterback that Aaron Rodgers has become and the quarterback that Brett Favre was, like one, Brett said, I'm not helping somebody take my job. He literally said that in the interview. He literally told the press, I'm not helping somebody take my job. Wild, Brett. Not really, but wild. And then at the same time, Brett Favre was like, he didn't go through the meetings and watch tape and be like, no, this is real cerebral, until like the very end of his career.
Very end.
The very end of his career, when he was like last year with the Packers, Minnesota, the Jets, like that's when he started doing it. Before that, backyard football. Aaron Rodgers can tell you every play that happens just like Sean McVay can. Which to us is mind-blowing. And I'm just like, nah, man, I guess that's not mind-blowing though if you do this like for a living. Now, McVay's freaky. He remember games from 2014. But I think like we give Brett Aaron being in the room with Brett all this credit when legitimately Brett looked at coverages and he was like, who cares? I'm throwing that mug.
But you know what?
Brett, what's our game plan here? 4th and 14. Throw it.
I think Aaron, where I see the development and where that goes in is because Aaron could absolutely sling that pill. He just is a better decision maker.
Absolutely.
So because of that, I think being in a room with the legendary QB helps you so much.
He learned by failures is what you said. He just watched Brett like, why the fuck he throw it there?
Yeah, no, seriously. Like if you really look at it, you take away Brett's bravado, you probably don't have the same QB, but you probably also don't have some of the same decisions he made. Brett, if you take away some of those INTs, had a shot at being one of the GOAT. Well, he is one of the GOATs, but I mean, like realistically, him with better decision making, not deciding to just say, "Oh yeah, triple coverage, I'm gonna get it to my guy anyway," and just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's Brett. Brett was known for that. Like, bro, you know who wanted to be Brett so bad, but you can tell it just didn't work out. Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler wanted to be Brett so bad, just didn't work out.
I don't know if Jay wanted to be Brett.
Well, he had the Brett mentality. He just didn't have the Brett legend. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't have it at all. But Brett goes down as being one of the best QBs of all time, even despite the fact he is the leading INT king by a mile. My man, listen, he is going to hold that record until
John
he
Stockton
passes. I am trying to tell you this. The time Tom Brady has not thrown as many INTs as Brett Favre. That's amazing considering he's dominated nearly 2 decades. If you really put that into perspective. In 20 years, I didn't throw 399 INTs. In fact, I don't think Tom is even close. I think Tom is like 2 something, right? He's in like the high 2s. Brett has like a good 100 INTs over that.
Hold up, I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see what the stat
is.
It's
wild. But Brett is absolute. So what does that tell me? Like, honestly, if when I look at that situation.
My favorite thing is that a lot of the mugs that like are the favorite old quarterbacks that, oh my goodness, they was the ones chucking that mug. Let's see. Brett Favre has, God dang,
399, dog.
He got 336 career. Hey, Brett Favre.
He has 336?
336 to 508 touchdowns. The next closest dude got 277.
Who's the next closest dude?
Hey, George Blanda.
Yeah, I don't know that guy.
Hey, dog. The next closest dude also played. He played 37 more games than Brett. Hey, now I will say
Brett
this,
was
right?
out there saying, "F it, air it out."
I will say that. Air it out. I will say this. Brett still having almost 200 more touchdowns than interceptions tells you that he absolutely could throw that thing. But it's mind-blowing to see 336 interceptions, and the next closest dude got 277. On the flip side of that, this is now, hey, top 10. Which of your all-time favorite quarterbacks is also in the top 10 in interceptions all time?
Oh, all-time favorites? Mine personally, or
Yeah,
you just?
maybe not you personally, but all-time great quarterback. An all-time great
I
quarterback.
know Dan Marino's up there.
Dan Marino's in there. Okay, I give you two then. I guess technically I can give you three. One of them, yeah, Johnny Unitas in there as well, but we don't really care. But no, one that is hailed as one of the all-time great quarterbacks also in there.
Breeze?
No, Breeze is 12. Breeze up there though. Breeze touchdown to INT ratio ain't that great. I ain't gonna lie to you. Oh, never mind. No, I was looking at Eli. My bad. Recant that. Breeze is 571 to 243. hey, Eli is 366 to 244.
Good Lord, Eli. Good.
Eli said, "I like to keep it even."
Eli sure is purely getting off of the fact that he beat Tom twice. That's what that's. Is it Manning?
His brother got more. 539 touchdowns to 251. Top 10 in interceptions. He's number 9.
But when you have nearly 600 touchdowns, having 250 INTs is kind of part of the course. It's like a 2-to-1 ratio right there.
Hey. And this is why he's the GOAT. 624 to 203.
Tom?
I want somebody to refute. I want somebody to refute that he's the GOAT.
That's a 3-to-1 ratio.
I want that argument to come in. I'm just like, what are we?
Speaking about refuting people who are the GOAT, I had to sit here and hear so many people bring up their Mount Rushmore, and Jay Will said LeBron James is the greatest I've ever played. Did not mention Wilt. I think he had LeBron, he had Mike, he had Kobe, which I respected. I think he had Kareem.
I can't be mad at that list.
It's not a bad Mount Rushmore. Now, mind you, Mount Rushmore is 4. Not 5.
Right. Everybody always I'm gonna give you 5. That's not a Mount Rushmore. They're adding a 5th head, but until they put it on there. I can follow. Kendall Gill broke it down one day why Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is his unquestioned GOAT.
Why who?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is his unquestioned GOAT. And when you look at everything that Kareem did, all the accolades, all the numbers, going all the way back to the fact that he won at every level, and not only won, literally dominated every level, similar to how Jordan did, and then got to the NBA and rolled right into it, won a championship, got the heck up out of Milwaukee, went to LA, won some more championship. Like, if we grew up at that time, I feel like we would feel similar. I think because we grew up in more of a Jordan time and we were closer to that time, that we look at Jordan as the unquestioned GOAT, especially seeing what he did in the finals, never losing and stuff like that. But if you saw Kareem live, we probably would be like, no, for sure. Like, he's the greatest big man of all time at a minimum. Like, we really don't even give him greatest big man of all time.
which is wild to me.
We always go it's a vast gap, by the way, but we always go either Shaq or Wilt, and it's just like those them numbers don't add up.
You know what's funny? Kareem gave it to both of them. Not Shaq, obviously.
I was
But
gonna say,
I'm thinking about Wilt and Bill Russell.
oh, Wilt and Bill.
When Kareem walked into the league, that man dogged Wilt. He has games against Wilt that he dogged Wilt.
Immediately. I'm like,
It's
rookie
not
year.
even close. I'm trying
Rookie
to tell
year.
you, go look at the. I found
Milwaukee
some old
versus LA.
tape. It's very grainy, but I found some old tape, and I was like, man,
Nah, it's not even. I mean, it's still grainy, but it's headband Wilt. You know, when Wilt was just jacked and had the headband and a little mini fro going,
yeah,
it's
when Will
headband
said,
Wilt.
"Oh
Hey,
yeah," I decided to stop.
getting worked.
Yeah, I decided to stop scoring. I just got bored with it. You know, no, you was getting worked out.
Hey, here's the thing. Here's the thing. He did it so effortlessly. I can't say he's lying. Like literally, if you look at it, it's like you telling me he just forgot how to play basketball one year.
Wilt stopped caring.
Hey, bro.
Wilt legit stopped caring. Like, I average 50. What you want me to do? Like, you know, people who don't have Wilt in their top, Wilt don't even make some people's top 10. And that's the dumbest thing in the world.
I don't know who out here doing that. Hey, dog. Hey,
look at who he had to play with. He had to play against Bill. He had to play against Kareem.
Hold up.
What?
Hey, I pull up the dig just to see. I Google searched Kareem versus Wilt, and the first thing I see is Kareem giving him the minka. I'm like, hold on, I missed that.
Hey,
I missed that game.
My man Kareem was serving people, and it's like, it's for me. I want to be clear. I've always held Michael Jordan as the best player to have ever played.
Yeah.
But the GOAT conversation to me is not just about, it's about level of dominance on all levels for me. It's being highly regarded. I mean, he's top 10 in points. He's top 10 in rebounds. He's top 10 in blocks. I mean, he did it all. And if you look at his career, I think it wasn't until his last season where he averaged less than 20 points.
How are they not counting all his blocks?
What do you mean?
Because God dang. I don't think they counted all of Bill Russell's blocks. And Wilt was around the same time. Fam. I wasn't far off with my take. According to the sample data, Bill Russell averaged 8.6 blocks a game. Y'all gonna stop disrespecting these old school players, dog. Y'all gonna stop disrespecting. Hey, my bad. Hey, Bill, my bad. I disrespected you, dog. I said you be Rudy Gobert today. Ain't no way, boy. That's what I'm saying, Devo. The league didn't start tracking blocks, I don't think, until the 70s. So how many of his blocks did they really track?
The league didn't start. Hold on, wait. Make it even better. They did the same for Kareem. The league didn't start tracking Kareem's blocks until his 5th season.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, where are they really on the block chart? Like, or has somebody gone back and counted them? Because I know there's players that have done that. Like, they went back and counted, like, all the three-pointers Jerry West would have shot and where he would have landed on the points you did. You know what I'm saying? Like, the league didn't track blocks when they were all in it. So, like, how are they counting that number?
Mm-hmm. It's a good question.
Bruh. That man, Bill Russell, averaged 8.6 blocks a game. Oh, my God, dog. Hey, and it makes so much sense, bro, because I swear, I keep
When we
telling y'all,
looked at
me
the
and
tape,
Kid,
it was like he's swatting a whole lot of
bro,
stuff.
I'm just like, he gotta have 8 blocks in 2 minutes.
He was swatting a whole lot of stuff. It was almost as if he was just out there swinging. It was
And
like,
listen, it
give me
wasn't
that.
it wasn't like
Give me
it
that.
wasn't like the little white dude point guard that was throwing it up. I'm talking about Wilt shots. He was sending them mugs out of there, dog. No, that's funny, dog. Kareem versus Wilt is something to behold, my boy. He came into the league working that man out.
Now,
But no,
thankfully, they didn't also track turnovers as much back then too, because they'd be turnover kings as much
oh
too.
man,
Because Kareem definitely was like 3-4 turnovers a game. Can you imagine if they had Instagram back then? Kareem is absolutely out here killing it, but the turnover battle is horrendous.
they wouldn't say nothing. Just like with Steph, they're not saying nothing because he was winning. They wouldn't say nothing. Steph
That's
shooting
true.
what? Steph shooting 35% this year.
Worse in his career.
So Kobe White
Worse
is
in his
shooting
career.
better than Stephen Curry right now.
Crazy.
And it don't matter because they 41-12?
Yeah, something like that.
Cornelius, you really called Bill Russell Rudy Gobert. I said in today's day and age, because Bill Russell wasn't a dominant scorer. Bill Russell averaged 15, 16 points a game, something like that.
Now that's
And
the one thing I will tell people.
22 rebounds. Like, he would be a
I
Rudy
tell
Gobert
people
type
this:
of player.
Bill was not the best player on his team.
See, here's the question though.
He was the best defensive player on his team.
Did
But he was
Bill
not the
play a
best
role?
player.
Here's the thing. Did Bill play a role? Because Bill absolutely got them games in his career where he got 45 points.
Oh yeah.
Was Bill playing a role?
But then we got, if you look up the Wilt versus Bill matchup, it's a lot of those games where you like, Bill, did you fight back? And then it's like,
hey, but also you look at them games and the Celtics won.
Celtics won.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, is Bill playing a role? Like, yeah, I'm just trying to slow down Wilt here.
I don't think that's a bad take. For one, let's do two things. One, stop hating on Rudy Gobert. He's worth the contract he got.
No, Rudy Gobert this year is balling. I can't even.
He's worth the contract he got.
He's to the point this year where I was like, Kid was like, Pat, he's having the same season as last year. I was like, he is absolutely not. That man has found an offensive bone.
I mean, realistically, he's doing the same thing he did in 2015. I mean, 2015, excuse me, 2018. And if you look at his numbers, and you look at Bill Russell's numbers,
similar. Well, rebound numbers.
You have to
numbers ain't
account
similar.
for the fact that the pace of game has changed, stuff like that. You know, you can't just camp out in the paint the same way and stuff like that. But like very similar.
Hey, offense or 3 seconds did not exist back then.
It did not.
Bill was down there for hours just.
They were literally leaning on each other down there the entire shot clock, like trying to get the ball when we looked at those tapes. And I was just like, because I watched some more when I was in Vegas, right? Because it was really like at the time I went to Vegas, it was really nothing to do. Vegas is definitely either a weekend or summer spot, because for work during the middle of the week, if you're not looking for like your own nights of debauchery, which I'm not, it's nothing to do.
Little lecherous debauchery going on.
It was a really, this was nice. Anyway, so I'm watching all these old games and I didn't even realize it, but I was like, man, they really just ran from paint to paint.
Oh yeah,
just sat there and just boxed each other out.
Hey, and just leaned on each other. That's all it was.
That's it. They very physical game though. So now I say this. You saying that he's Rudy Gobert, I mean, I think he would definitely get more rebounds, but points wise, I don't see that game changing.
Me neither.
And when you watch it,
15 points a game. Well, this the only thing. I don't know what he would do. Like, are we saying that whole Celtics team in today's day and age? Or are we just saying Bill? Because if it's that whole Celtics team, points might go or might stay the same. If it's Bill by himself, Bill with this current Celtics team, Bill gonna have to score. Plus, Bill would be the biggest big man in the NBA right now, minus Rudy Gobert. So he would be put back dunking all day.
No, the heck he wouldn't. He's 6'10".
Hey, look, Bill Russell?
Bill Russell was 6'10". Like Bill wasn't a freak. Like Bill was big for then, but he ain't big
Bill
now.
arms was freakish, my guy.
Hey.
We've had so many conversations on Bill Russell on this show.
Here's the thing, because people hold him in such high regard because he won so much, and I get it, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate what he did for the sport. I appreciate what he did from the social justice perspective and all of those things. We're not talking about that, although that is his legacy. We're talking about purely on the court between these four lines right here.
Fam. That means that he averaging at least 4 blocks a game.
Oh, he's definitely winning Defensive Player of the Year like every year. So, like, I'm not going to take that away from him. He's definitely a defensive stopper. He's a defensive stopper. I give him that. But I have to sit there and say, if we're going to kill, the knock on Steph is he had this super team, which they absolutely drafted outside of KD. If KD's knock is look at who he had around him and stuff like that, then you need to apply that same pressure to Bill and them boys down there in Boston in the 60s. Because if you look at the landscape of the league, you look at who they had on their team, it's very hard not to win 11 rings when you get all the talent.
Hey, I mean,
when Jerry West goes 1 of 9 or 8 in the finals, it ain't because Jerry West and the Lakers sucked. It's literally because they had 2 to 3 people and you had 4 to 5 all-stars. Hey. That's literally how it matched up. Hey. It was, we have 3 all-stars, you have 5 all-stars. That's why we're in the finals. Let's go at it. That's what it was.
That man, Elgin Baylor, had 50. Hey, what was his stat line? 50.
50. That man's put up 50 in 20 games, taking losses.
Hey, on Bill,
definitely on Bill, taking on losses. Bill.
20 Elgin rebound games on Bill.
Elgin was working the Boston. It was not even close. Talk about and again, Elgin Baylor doesn't even come up in the conversation of best small forwards of all time, and that's stupid. He was a small forward. He definitely was a small forward. And if you look at them numbers, you look at those stats, and you really look at his game, that man was getting busy. We looked at those tapes. It's like he could play today and dominate.
Oh, absolutely. He could absolutely.
Elgin's game was that smooth. So let me ask you this. When are we really going to start being honest about the Boston Celtics in the 60s? That level of dominance. And why and how it either inflates or misconstrues a lot of those careers, because I appreciate 11 rings, but again, the way the Celtics were constructed, it's literally like the Warriors of our day. It was impossible not.
You still got to win.
The Warriors lost because they got injured. That was it. Yeah, no one was going to beat them.
That's the thing. You still got to win. The Warriors did lose because they got injured.
That was it.
But not the 73-9 team with the KD team.
I'm talking about the KD team.
The KD team.
The KD Warriors, KD got as constructed, probably the best team outside of what the Nets could have been. Offensively, offensive rating. Offensive rating, the Nets had the highest ever.
Yeah. I think that you look at, I don't take anything away from Muggs that win, especially, not granted, they were basically just buying all the players. Back then, it was literally just, hey, we in here, buy it. But I think that you also still have to take into account what it takes to actually win and what it takes to beat them teams. Yeah, they had better players, but there was still a lot of really good players around the league. Like we were looking at mugs that we didn't know their names, and we were like, this mug is averaging 19 points a game. You know what I'm saying? Like when we looked at that St. Louis Hawks versus Celtics final, we was like, man, like Bob Pettit, I knew that. I knew he was getting work or putting work in, but A lot of these mugs was averaging a ridiculous amount of points per game that we weren't expecting to be averaging points per games like that. So I think still winning goes into that. And if you had the best team, I mean, that's basketball though. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. When in the NBA finals did the two not best teams make it? Maybe last year with the Bucks, but it was because of injury.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
Your best teams always make it.
I'm gonna say this. And I have to do more research, but I've done a considerable amount. When in history have you had your starting five all average over 15 points?
All average over 15 points? I couldn't even tell you. Miami, maybe. Trying to think of everybody who was on that team. Who was their center?
Miami.
Was it still UD?
There is. First of all, it's a trick question. Outside of the examples I'm going to give you, it's never happened.
You must gonna give me multiple examples of it happening, and then say it's never happened. That's not how that works.
No, seriously. Outside of the examples I'm going to give you, it's
other
never
than
happened.
these 12 teams I'm going to give you, it's never happened in NBA
Here's the
history.
problem.
Yeah.
Of the 12 teams I'm going to give you, Bill makes up a lot of them. Right?
No,
I'm gonna tell you this right now. You ready for this?
Go ahead.
16.6, 20. All right, Bill Russell, 20 points, 16 points a game. Bob Cousy, 20 points a game. Bill Sharman, 20 points a game. Tom Heisen, I always want to say Heisen, whatever. 18.8 a game. Frank Ramsey, 15 points a game. Sam Jones off the bench, 10 points a game.
Yeah.
That's your starting five in your six man. Out the gate, you have 60 plus points out the gate guaranteed. Here's the thing. That's if I cut their production in half.
I'm with you. I don't fault them for winning with the best team.
No,
like that's
I don't fault them either.
That's what the NBA is.
I don't fault them either. But if we're gonna fault the Warriors of today and say, well, man, that team was stacked and this, that, and the other, and I get it. People jump around, you can do all this stuff. Let it go. It's the climate you're in today. Shut it up. It happened. The game has changed. People do it. LeBron's about to jump teams now to go play with a contender and play with his son. Trust me, it's gonna happen.
I don't know if he's playing with it. Well, depend on where his son go. Depend on how his son rank. But me and Ringo talked about that. I was like, bro, that's like 3 years away.
Yeah.
Brian,
do yourself a favor. Just look up the Boston Celtics from 1958 and just look up the teams, look up the averages, and just click next. Just click next.
They ridiculous.
And see how busy they got.
No, they ridiculous.
And then go find your next favorite team, Lakers of that time. Pull it up, same decade. Just click next. Now, mind you, we're watching the games. We're going back. We're seeing what those games actually look like.
Yeah,
but just from a number standpoint, right?
Hey, I'll tell you what. A lot of them look bad.
just from a numbers standpoint.
Just because there was no system. Watching basketball with no system, it's literally it's literally watching adults play like kids at the YMCA. That's what it looks like. Because nobody's really running a system. It's just like, keep running around, get open.
You open yet? Nope. Keep running. Circles.
They got playing in the background.
The whole reason we got all this conversation is about Mount Rushmores.
We really took a detour on that mug.
LeBron is it has to be on your Mount Rushmore.
Has to be on your Mount Rushmore. He's one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball.
But he's only on the Mount Rushmore for me because he's the best small forward we've ever seen. Not because he's the best player. And I believe, and I firmly believe, you have Magic on your Mount Rushmore because he's the best point guard you've ever seen. You have Mike on your Mount Rushmore because he's the best shooting guard you've ever seen. You know, Kareem, whoever you would put as the best big man. You know, I know that's actually more of a debatable thing there than people give credit.
I think that's what it comes down to. With your big man position, you lump them all together.
Yeah.
Because I'm not putting Tim Duncan over any of the centers. I'm just like, Tim Duncan is probably the greatest power forward we've ever seen. And I don't even know if it's probably Tim Duncan's the greatest power forward I've ever seen. Just like the continued level of winning. But I wouldn't put him over Shaq.
What's the metric for that?
Greatest power forward?
Yeah, what's the metric?
How much did you win? I think greatest than anything is how dominant you were at your position versus the rest of your competition while you were in the league versus how much you won. Yeah, I'm saying, because there was a moment where DeMarcus Cousins was the best big man in the NBA, but they didn't win nothing, so it didn't matter. Like, talent-wise, he was the best big man in the NBA, but who cares? You didn't win. So, like, it's about how dominant you were versus your competition mixed with how much did you win. Because if you're not winning, it don't matter. So Tim Duncan.
I still got Carmelo.
Tim Duncan was one of the mugs. Hey, the Spurs snuck up on everybody every year. I don't care if you were a Spurs fan. You were surprised. KG's not even 2, dog. Cornelia said Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward by far. Maybe KG. No. Listen. Tim Duncan is topping one dude.
I know. Yes. And I was gonna say, the only reason why is because of those rings. Because if Carmelo has one or 2 rings, you're not even mentioning Tim Duncan.
No, Tim Duncan would be 2.
So that's why I said, what's the metric? Because LeBron fans would say, you remove the rings, he's the best player. It's like, well, rings matter for one.
This is what my
if
new
we
stance
remove
is.
the rings, Jerry West would be higher.
Hey, this is what my new stance is on it. Ask the players. Whenever you talk to the players in any sport, be like, who's the GOAT? Who did this? Who's like a lot of people still say LeBron now, the younger generation, because they've taken on that kind of the rings don't matter mentality. But you ask like a lot of the players that have played the game, it's like, hey, I didn't play the game to lose. I didn't play the game not to get rings. You know what I'm saying? Like
Kevin McHale.
Kevin McHale's a good name. Kevin McHale's a good name. I absolutely got Karl Malone over Kevin McHale. Karl Malone would have worked out Kevin McHale.
Oh man, Karl Malone did work out Kevin McHale. Karl Malone came in 85. He had some matchups against him. Worked that man out.
McHale, a little past the prime. Hey, McHale had the same knees he was walking on down in Houston at that point.
All right, this is specifically for you because you throw this age thing out and you be mad off, dog. It's like, what is he, 33? Like, no, it's 29. Like Kevin McHale, when Karl Malone came in the league, had only been in the league 5 years. Not past his prime.
Hey, hold on. You get a pass back then. Everybody look old.
Okay. In fact, hey, listen, Kevin McHale's prime was after Malone got drafted.
Hey, if I told you Clyde Drexler wasn't 45 in that finals, you wouldn't believe me until you looked it up.
I thought he was a little older.
Hey, I thought Clyde was 33.
Mid-30s.
Hey, Clyde was a year older than Mike. No, he was what? He was 2 years older than Mike, right? He was 2 years older than Mike. I was like, dang, dog, you telling me Clyde was
the age conversation back then was like so wild to me. They was like, oh, he played the older Lakers when Mike beat him. They weren't old.
They were in their 30s.
They were late 20s, early 30s. They weren't old.
All of them. You telling me they were in their prime?
The average age on that team was 29. On the Bulls, it was 28. Where do we get old from?
Now Kareem
it's
was
okay
up there,
to admit
right?
that it was Scotty was younger.
Kareem was one of the youngest. Right? Kareem was what at that point? He had to be about.
Kareem wasn't even on the team.
Who was center on that team?
Kareem went on the team that the
is that,
Lakers in 91?
Let's see.
I mean, all you got to do is type in Lakers versus Bulls finals because there's only been one.
Oh, that sounds good. Oh, that's Vlade. My bad. That's Vlade. Oh, James Worthy. No. Yeah, that's Vlade.
Vlade. But they weren't old
At all.
That's the part that ticks me off every single time.
The only person old on that team was Michael Thompson, who was aged. Let's see. Hey, here's the ages. They were old. James Worthy, 29. Magic Johnson, 31. Sam Perkins, 29. Byron Scott, 29. Vlade Divac, 22. AC Green, 27. Terry Teagle, 30. Michael Thompson, 36. He was the old man. Hey, by the way, Michael Thompson played 82 games that season. Oh, I'm sorry, 72. Average 15 minutes a game, 36. Shout out to that man. Tony Smith, 22. Larry Drew, 32. Eldon Campbell, 22. Irving Thomas, 25. And Tony Brown, 30. By the way, those last 5 names did not say anybody. Or did not play any time, I should say.
So, yeah, Magic being 4 years older than Mike was old. Really?
Hey,
that's what we're doing.
Hey, that's a good comment. I ain't gonna lie. Mike Davis said they aged in dog years back then. Oh man. Nah, for me, top power forwards all time. No, I mean, I still wouldn't put any of them over your top centers. Like none of them are over Shaq for me. And Shaq's not the greatest big man of all time. Most dominant, maybe, but he's not the greatest big man of all time.
True. And first off, can we say how a Mount Rushmore is dumb for a sport that has 5 starting players? like, yeah, my Mount Rushmore is like, I didn't know we playing 4-on-4. It's 5.
I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? The 4 greatest players. Your top 4, basically. Your top 4. Like my top 5 all time isn't.
It's always been top 5. Who says top 4?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you say Mount Rushmore, like my top 5 all time isn't by position. You got 2 shooting guards in my top 5. 2 shooting guards, a point guard, a small forward, and a center.
You know what? You know the reason why I don't do it that way is because I think it's unfair. I think it's unfair for you to have multiple shooting guards or multiple people at the same position simply because it's just how the league changed. You know, at one point it's very center dominant and you had a bunch of dominant centers.
Yeah.
And so if we go back then, yeah, you have your Wilt. Like Wilt being disregarded as one of the best centers is like ridiculous to me. But you have to give the credit that he only won 2. But if the simple fact that he won 2 and he has the records that Wilt has his own record book.
Yeah.
In an era where Bill Russell, Kareem, all of them had the opportunity to beat those records. It's not like the game drastically changed from Wilt's heyday to Kareem's. It didn't. It wasn't like the 90s. It's not like the 2000s. It didn't drastically change.
Yeah.
So they had the opportunity to beat those records. They just didn't because they couldn't.
No. Listen. That's like Brett Favre interception record will stand just like John Stockton's assist record will stand. You know what I'm saying?
For him not to be considered the best point guard.
You're not breaking them records.
For him not to be considered the best point guard or not even top 3 on people's list is stupid to me.
Who?
John Stockton, when you heard these people talk about their because they go into it. They went into best point guards and stuff like that. Isaiah comes up, stuff like that. And I get it. They won championships. But you can't tell me that John Stockton, who is your steals leader and assist leader, which means that not only was he running your offense efficiently, could score, but he was also D'ing you up on the other end, is not a top 3 point guard.
He's top 3 for me.
They don't even have him top 3.
He's top 3 for me. I don't think I have a.
He has a record that will never be beaten.
I think Stephen Curry has moved Isaiah off of my top point guard down, not off of it, but down on my top point guards list.
For scoring guards, he has.
I mean, just listen. We can say we want the position. Say PG. I guess is he a 2? Is he a 1? He bring the ball up the court and he shoots it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what much. Like, all of a sudden we supposed to like not count the new point guards because they try to score the ball more. If that's the case, Lonzo Ball and Chris Paul are your 2 best point guards in the NBA. But I look at.
You see what I see?
What happened? A prime D Wade and a prime Kobe Bryant was way better than having Parker and Manu. Facts, Cap. Because you didn't win consistently with a prime D Wade, and he wasn't really a factor at that point. He just, like, the second half of that season, he went nuts, and that was all the energy he had for the season. He got a case for regular season MVP the second half of that season. That's about it.
We're not going to talk about the fact that Tony Parker, in his prime, was one of the best point guards in the game. Manu was the best 6 man only because he was relegated to that role or decided to play.
Must don't remember Manu with hair was a problem. When Manu had the hair, when Manu had that hair flowing, dog, them golden Italian locks, them Spanish locks, I mean, dog, stop playing with my boy.
Hey, people don't realize that Euro step that we complain about, where you think you got it from? The person that made it famous? It was always there. The person that made it famous, Manu.
This
that
is
Euro was freaky.
Don't let, and for everybody that's listening on the Contender, Cornelia said a prime D Wade and Kobe Bryant was way better than having. Oh, okay, I was reading that. Man, just switch the comment on me, dang. It was way better than having Parker and Manu. Facts. Here's the problem with that. A prime Kobe Bryant does not win those rings without a prime Shaq. A prime Kobe Bryant needed a prime Shaq to come to an agreement with him on how they're both going to be alphas at the same time for them to win those rings. They had, 3 years? 4 years in a row?
4 in a row.
Where they got smoked in the playoffs. I'm talking about Miami first round exit. We can give Kobe Bryant. Well, let's not listen. I love Charles Barkley. Let's not let Charles Barkley saying you rolled Kobe Bryant coattails and that's why you got them rings actually take away from the fact that Shaq was a huge part of those championships. Like a part that Kobe doesn't get to those championships without.
Now Shaq absolutely admits, after I won my first one, I was good. Shaq was like,
yeah, for real. No, he said the only one he had that fight, the first one and his last one. Those were the only 2 he had that fire for. And then he got it back a little too late when Kobe got 5. That's why he started hopping around trying to just, he went to Boston, went to Cleveland, went to, you know what I'm saying? They and hey, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. Kenny Smith killed Shaq. Look. We talking about riding coattails out here.
Oh, you talking about what he says?
Hey,
Chuck?
Shaq. Hey, Chuck. You was out here with Dr. J and Moses Malone and couldn't get it done, my guy. Chuck was like, them mugs was old by then. He had Mo Cheeks. This man had 3 Hall of Famers on his team. Mo Cheeks in the Hall? Is Mo Cheeks in the Hall? Mo Cheeks in the Hall, ain't
No, she's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. He had 3 Hall of Famers on his team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, Hall of Fame.
don't let Chuck, get away. Don't let's not let that point die. When Kenny said that, Kenny finally brought it up. It's like it hit him. He was like, fam, you literally played with 3 Hall of Famers on the same team. Y'all had 4 Hall of Famers on one team. And y'all didn't win.
And they wasn't that old.
Smitty, he said they were old. They were also the best team in the Eastern Conference.
I think that was the Western Conference, wasn't it?
No, Philly was in the East at that point. They were the best team in the Eastern Conference. They won like 52 games that season. That man Chuck was absolutely a part of that team. And they all was averaging 20 plus, taking L's in the playoffs. Come on now.
How come Chuck doesn't get brought up for best power forward?
Because we don't really know what Chuck was. Chuck was a power forward that was 6'4".
Yeah, that's true.
Chuck was really a small forward.
Chuck does not have a season outside of his rookie season where he doesn't have a double-double. That means right up until his retirement, he was giving you double digits and double-digit rebounds.
Yeah, well, he was like Vooch at the end. Fall out the bed, still can give you a double-double.
You look at his numbers, good Lord, Chuck was dominating. God dang, Chuck was a monster.
Hey, this the one right here.
That's 6'4"?
That's the part don't nobody pay attention to. Chuck did not play D. Hearing Michael Jordan talk about Chuck defense and how he like finally in the finals was like, ain't nobody else gonna guard this guy? Ain't nobody else gonna guard this guy? I'll guard him. Mike said, what is he doing?
The guy that didn't stick no defense. He averaged a steal a game.
There's a lot of dudes that don't really play D. Steph Curry averaged 2.
Check out one season, averaged 2 steals a game.
KW said Chuck was taller than 6'4". LOL, stop clowning the big boy. Chuck tells you he's 6'4" in his book, actually. He says, I know I've been listed as taller, but I am 6'4". Now, I think Chuck might be lying, too. I don't know. I feel like Chuck got like a weird... Because I've seen Chuck next to Mike, and unless Mike is 6'4", Chuck is definitely taller than 6'4". But I'm also not going to tell that man whatever his doctor's telling him.
I've also seen Chuck stand next to Mike, and they be the same height, so I got him at 6'6".
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I've seen Chuck next to Mike, and I'm like, But Chuck literally says in his book, he says he's 6'4".
All right, let's pivot from the old school things. Let's talk about some new school things. So I'm going to use Chuck as a prime example. So if anyone's looking at, for those on the Contender, for those tuning in with us right now, if anyone's ever looked at Charles Barkley's numbers, you can see how dominant he was, how efficient he was. One of the truest examples of making the most of who you are, what you have, right? 6'6", just dominating, right? Zion is about that size. Unfortunately, and this is where the pivot comes in, doesn't look like he's going to be suiting up and getting a lot of smoke from New Orleans. Absolutely a weird situation. JJ talks about how detached of a teammate he is, things of that nature. What is your take on that? What is your take on that Zion situation, period? Like, detached, JJ called him a detached teammate, which could be from youth, could be from a lot of different things.
Zion Williamson is getting the flack that if a lot of other players who have been through similar situations were taken that high and end up having long careers anyway, were as highly touted as he was, they would have gotten it as well. What I mean by that, Joel Embiid was really good in college, but he had the injuries. He had he hadn't been playing basketball that long. By college, I mean, he started playing basketball. What they say his junior year in high school or something like that?
Who?
16 years old, 17 years old, Joel Embiid. But Joel Embiid wasn't as highly touted as Zion. Joel Embiid came into the NBA and sat for 2 years. Basically. What did he come in? Second half of his second season? Or did he come in beginning of his second season and get hurt again? Something like that happened. Basically sat out his first 2 seasons. Definitely sat out the first year. Ben Simmons, same thing, sat out his entire rookie year. Blake Griffin, same thing, sat out his entire rookie year. We've seen this before, but they weren't as high profile as this. I don't think there's been a player that's come into the league this high profile since LeBron James. Zion Williamson has been the man since his sophomore year of high school.
It's a fact.
We haven't seen a play. So, like, everything Zion does, anything Zion says, it's going to be highly criticized. It's going to be highly scrutinized. It's going to be highly looked at as he doesn't want to be on the team. He doesn't want to play there. Now, Zion has added fuel to the fire. By the way, 57 in here, 32 likes, man. Hit that like button. Zion has added fuel to the fire by saying, I don't want to be in New Orleans. And, I mean, let's be real, right?
When has he actually said that, though?
His dad said that or whatever. Here's the thing with Zion, and everybody gives him flack, but we don't adjust to what we saw from Bron. Zion Williamson got the cover of 2K before he basically dribbled a basketball. Zion Williamson was on all of these interviews. Zion Williamson getting drafted was the highest move you could make. Alvin Gentry was losing his mind when he found out Zion Williamson was coming into the league. We don't adjust it to what LeBron was doing, right? LeBron James was on multiple Nike commercials before he was drafted. LeBron James was on the cover of multiple magazines before he was drafted. Ain't nothing in there, dog. That's just an orange at the bottom. LeBron James was... Hey, I thought it was going to smack you in the face.
It's a lemon.
LeBron James was...
Pinky out.
Pinky out, baby. LeBron James was literally as highly publicized as Zion Williamson is for 2003. The difference then is, okay, we didn't give him a video game cover. All right. He still already had the endorsement deals. He still already had the money rolling in. His entire team was sponsored by Nike because of him before teams were sponsored. His entire team had Nike jumpsuits before Nike was sponsoring teams on a consistent basis. See, the problem is we're 22 years later, or 20 years later, we don't think about what actually happened when LeBron came into the league. We don't think about, because LeBron didn't go to college, we don't think about, oh, they were absolutely paying this man under the table while he was still in high school. LeBron James was pulling up, mom was pulling up in an Escalade before that man made the NBA. So, for me, the Zion situation is as big as it is because of how highly touted Zion is. But we've seen this in the NBA, and those are some of the most dominant players in the league. So I'm not just going to say Zion Williamson is done. The weight thing, everybody's like, he can't play at 300 pounds. I agree with you. Zion Williamson is not on a us diet. Zion Williamson has the best nutritionist, has the best, the best chefs, has the best, whatever you want it to be. He's got it. He will cut Y'all in Chicago, y'all know that little whatever that little diet thing they got on there. 40 pounds in 40 days. Zion Williamson will be able to cut weight quickly. We saw James Harden cut weight from the time he was in Houston to the time he got traded to Boston. That man went and sat in a sauna for 4 hours and was all of a sudden jacked again.
My man drank a gallon of water a day, sat there and sweated it out. Was like, oh, all right, I'm down 8 pounds. Let's roll.
Hey, look, I'm down 8 pounds, and all you saw was muscle. Like, what happened? How'd you go from Bruce Leroy to Bruce Lee?
I said it when it happened. I said it when he got drafted. I said it when he first came in the league. He's not going to have a long career. I said that was a statement I made. Now I hope he does. I disagree on his what he is too heavy. He was too heavy when he was in shape. He's heavier now.
His rookie year weight is his best weight. When he came
He was
in
too heavy then.
Nah, what was he? He was 275, right?
Too heavy. He was bigger than Chuck.
Yeah. Well, no, Chuck was 300 plus. Did you watch that documentary?
No, yeah, I watched it.
The new one with Chuck and Dr. J.
I watched it.
He said he has more cheeks. Why can't I get on the court? Because you fat and you lazy.
When Chuck put his mind to it, he dropped the weight. Chuck was sub 250.
Yeah. 285.
But Chuck didn't soar through the air like Zion. That's the problem.
Hey, Chuck could float though.
He could float. He had ups.
You know what
Muzz don't get rebounds. But
vert.
Chuck wasn't jumping from free throw lines dunking.
The vert, dog. That vert that Chuck had.
Zion is coming through
straight
jumping
up
from free throw lines, windmilling and stuff like that. He has a level of athleticism that's freakish. It is freakish, but it's just too heavy for the style of play. And it's going to lead to issues. Said that when he first came in, I said this was going to be a major mistake for New Orleans. To build around him, he's not going to be available. 2 years that go down the drain, and looks like your boy is right. I take that victory lap. Pat on my back. Skip you all.
Well, here's my question with you, right? With Zion's game and how explosive he is, does he need because rookie year Zion, right? We're saying 285, but let's be real, it was 285 of muscle at that point his rookie year. He wasn't pudgy.
Dog, it don't matter.
But
it don't matter if it's fat or muscle, it's still too heavy.
But what I'm saying is, do you need that kind of build for the kind of game he's trying to play?
If you're gonna just exist and bully in the paint, sure.
That's what he's doing though.
But he plays a very high flying game as well. And it's like, no, every time he jumps, like it's not even the fact that he's jumping as high as he is. The speed and everything like that. All of it is freakish.
Very explosive.
It has a limit. And the limit right now is realistically his body's ability to maintain that. Something's going to be, y'all don't understand. It's a different game.
That's rookie year.
You don't have to take my word for it. Look at all the professional athletes who've said the same thing. I don't know any professional athlete in this chat that's played on the same level as those people who have said the exact same thing. The boy has to cut it down.
But you know what?
They need to put him on something because he's going to get himself hurt. It's literally, you don't have to think Chuck is the greatest power forward. He's absolutely one of the greatest people to have ever touched the court. And he's saying the same thing. I was the same size, had these same issues. He's going to have these problems. And sure enough, he's having these problems. Other people, same thing. Said the exact same thing.
But the question, this is the thing, right? There's a lot of people that will come out and make statements on, oh, he can't do this. He won't be able to maintain this. He won't until he does. Now, starting off his career, he hasn't been able to.
Hey, dog. That only works when there's a case study that says, oh, this is possible. You have none. That statement for what we're talking about does not exist long term in the NBA. It literally does not exist, which is why everyone's saying the same thing.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm not going to write off Zion Williamson if he can get back to his rookie playing weight because we feel that you said
That was
what?
a good one. That was a good one.
That was Zion rookie year, and now put up Booger McFarland numbers. But
That was a
even
good
that, you
one.
know what I'm saying? Like everybody's looking at Zion now. Zion's doing no cardio. Zion's doing basically no running. Zion's doing basically no working out. He's just rehabbing. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you just rehabbing and you eating, you're gonna put on weight. Again, he's gonna be able to cut fat quickly. It's not like Zion Williamson is sitting out here trying to get on Bowflex with us. Like, he's gonna be when he's 100% healthy, he's gonna be able to get in the gym, which is probably the reason why they're shutting him down for this year. There's no reason to bring him back. There's no reason for him to come back. You're not making the playoffs at this point in the season. You're not. You're not even competing really at this point in the season. I think you've made multiple wrong decisions at your head coaching position, and I think that that's played into the reason why Zion Williamson is hurt as well. You've asked Zion to all of a sudden, hey, play the point guard. What? You're adding to his workload when you have concerns about his weight and what he's gonna like. I feel like they've mismanaged Zion. I feel like Zion has mismanaged himself. I feel like you might want to push away from a few of those jambalaya bowls down there, my boy. Let the gumbo go. I know it's hard, trust me, but I don't think I can't write him off when I've seen players go through these same things. We are killing Zion Williamson because of how highly touted he was.
That ain't why I'm killing him. I'm not. That's not why I'm killing him. That boy could have been drafted. If he got drafted like that anywhere in the top 10, I would have gave him the same credit. Anywhere top 20, I would have said the same thing because I would have seen what he was doing. I'm like, man, that boy got springs, but he way too big. I would have said the same thing. Realistically. Because I want him to succeed. But it's clear there's a clear reason as to why he's not. Everybody's Joel Embiid is a good one. You know, Joel Embiid has cut a lot of weight too.
Yeah, he stopped eating McDonald's before the game.
His first 2 seasons, he didn't play at all. He cut a lot of weight mainly because he had to for the style of play he wanted to play, which is nowhere near the style of play that Zion is playing.
Yeah.
And to increase the longevity of his career. That was part of his plan to get back on the court. Joel Embiid had to do that. A lot of big men have to do that. At 6'6", I wouldn't consider him a big, but that's a big kid right
That's
there.
a big
That dude,
man.
that's a
Listen,
big
listen. He shoots 70%, all of it under the bucket. So
that's a big man.
That's a big man.
With all that being said, dog, no, he has to take the same approach. It's not even about like you're gonna get 3 or 4 really good seasons out of him, and it's gonna probably look like the best things we've ever seen. And then it's gonna be another injury if he maintains. Something's gonna wear down. Unless you're juicing.
But this is the thing, right? This is the thing. Joel Embiid gets hurt this season. Narrative completely changes.
That's a good one.
Joel Embiid gets hurt this season. All of a sudden, we're going back to it's like Kemp gained weight and was unserviceable. Kemp.
That's a very good comparison.
Good example. Kemp left for a minute though, didn't he? Kemp left the league for a minute, didn't he?
I mean, Kemp has some other issues going on, but
yeah, Kemp was wasn't he on that stuff?
But Kemp's game was predicated a lot off his athleticism and his pure
These the
strength.
comments that crack me up. How you know that, Corey? No desire to lose weight. How you know that?
You know, for someone broke it down that it's probably the best thing for him right now to have the weight on him because it shows that he's getting the proper nutrition he's going to need, especially when he starts to cut. I don't know exactly how that works out, But I trust it because that's their profession and they work with professional athletes.
Yeah.
I would just say even the Zion I saw before the injury that came into the league that we were all excited for, that kid was too heavy. And now he's packed on 40 to 50 pounds. So I'm hoping for the best. But all I'm saying is him at his good playing weight in the league was too heavy.
I think okay. So what's he got to get to? 265?
I mean, if he's
this is the
when
thing.
you
We're
say
saying
285, you realize that we like you use LeBron as an example. LeBron walked in looking bigger than most men in the NBA, and he wasn't 285. He's also taller than Zion.
He was what, 265?
No, LeBron walked in at 245, and we was like, what the heck is going on? LeBron was not 265.
LeBron was definitely 260, bro.
He was 265. His rookie walking in as a rookie?
His rookie year? No, not his rookie year. You talk about his rookie year?
When he walked in, his rookie year, he was bigger than most grown men in the league.
Yeah, no, he wasn't that big. But I mean, LeBron now has cut weight, and LeBron is 250 right now. LeBron in Miami was 265.
But he's also 6'9".
True. This is the thing for me, right? Say Zion gets down to 265, 260. Okay. We're acting like that's not possible. Like we're having this conversation like Zion Williamson isn't in the NBA. Getting down to 260 is not going to be an impossible feat for him. Getting down to whatever weight we feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like he plays in a league where, what was Sean Kemp weight? Yeah, dog, I don't know about that one, dog. Sean Kemp was 6'10", 280. Now, when Sean Kemp was bad,
but he was 6'10".
That's true. 6'10" make a difference. But still, 280 is ridiculous, dog. Forget that. Hey, forget that. Boban's not 280, dog. Hey, Boban is not 280, dog. Like that 280 is crazy, dog.
It's a lot of weight. I'm looking at
Shaq was when Shaq was fat, he was 324. Like 280 is crazy, dog.
Put that into perspective. Zion is 310 right now.
Yeah, but he hasn't played it that way. That's different. That's what I'm saying. We're talking about this like Zion's gonna come on the court at 310. They're not gonna let him on the court at 310. If he's healthy, if he's good to go going into the offseason, his entire offseason is going to be conditioning, losing weight, getting ready to be back on the court, getting healthy. He's not going to come on the court like we're acting like he's playing right now at 310. Like he hasn't dribbled a basketball at 310. He got hurt at 285. So it's like, yeah, I get he's too heavy now, but like he not doing nothing. You're going to get heavy. In his prime, Kemp was 240. Let's see.
Let's fact check that one. But then, let's go into the second part of this, which is
6'10", 230.
Big difference.
Hey, they don't even give that man his they don't even give that man the other weight.
Yeah. So let's look at this though. So Zion may be trying to force his way out in so many ways. That's the narrative that's being purported. We don't know that. I don't know that. His father says this, whatever. Wish him the best. Don't like how he's going about it. If that's the case. Needs to be more vocal. Also needs to just actually get on the court and play. I can't rush his injury. Don't know what the injury is. I don't want to be insensitive to that.
Nobody knows what the injury is. That's the biggest problem. Right. What did Zion hurt? Not sure.
But with that being the case, this offseason may prove to be one of the biggest in recent history outside of anything Kevin Durant did back then, because 3 people who are expected to potentially make a move. No, not surprisingly, the first person on that list is Dame Lillard, who I think is absolutely going to make a move. I do not believe
unless Portland get rid of him, not based on his IG post. Hey, I can only take Dame at his word. Dame ain't never been one of them players.
I really do. Dame is gonna look back and be like, "Yeah, I should have." It's a long time between now and then. Dame out of there, dog. He may not go to the Lakers. I hope he doesn't go to the Lakers.
I don't see it, dog.
But Dame out of there, dog.
I don't see it. I don't. Because to me, all I can do is take him at his word. And at every turn, Dame has said, I'm not leaving. And he ain't left.
Cool. Donovan Mitchell with the Utah Jazz, which I don't know where he would go.
Can I say this? And this might go down
to slander. Why he would move, but
this might go down to slander. However you want to say it. Russell Westbrook is in the NBA, and Donovan Mitchell might have the worst shot selection I've seen in a long time. Donovan put up anything to touch his hands. And he don't make it all the time. I was watching some Jazz games because they be the late game on NBA TV, or not NBA TV on. They be the last game on when we get off of the Bulls live calls. And dog, I just be looking at Donovan. He get that mug in his hand. It don't matter where he at. 2 dribble. I just be like, fam, you ain't even try to get the offense going. He really reminds me. He reminds me of. He reminds me a lot of Russ, but he doesn't assist as much. Just with the shot selection I'm talking about. He doesn't pass the ball as much.
Who he passing to?
Well, yeah, Buddy Hurt on his team.
You have to think about that for a second.
Buddy Hurt on this team. Hey, look, Buddy Hurt on his team now. But no, he got Mike Conley out there. Who's legitimately supposed to be setting that mug up. But the first pass is always the Donovan, and that mug is going in the air. Like it's one of those weird things to me. Like when you watch a Utah game, it's just like I see why Rudy Gobert gets 15 rebounds. There's nothing but opportunity. Hey, opportunity ain't nothing but space and opportunity there, baby. When you 7'2" and you doggone and the ball is bouncing directly to you because it didn't hit the front of the rim 3 times on the same play.
He's going to LA. Who said the Clippers were not damn? Well, okay. I mean, you got a point. Russ is getting a lot of flack for
the new day Michael Redd.
Huh?
That's what Timothy said. The new day Michael Redd. I would have to I'm not gonna lie to you. Michael Redd, I just remember him like with like the 14-year-old mindset I had, and all I remember him doing is getting a bucket. So
Michael Redd, torch. Michael Redd had a nice 5-6 year stretch that was like, you getting this bucket and nothing else. I got 40 for you. Blocking like Michael. Oh no,
for Milwaukee to win a solid 25 games that year.
This man was pulling 5 threes a game at 40%.
Michael Redd?
Yeah. Hey, listen. And he was a lefty, I believe, too. I got buckets for you. That's all I got.
That's all Michael Redd had. Michael Redd
was.
I don't remember. That's the thing, too. I don't remember no
I give you a better one. Michael Redd was Dame for a good minute because Michael Redd went on a tear and was never getting the All-Star nod. And by the time he actually started getting the claim, he got injured.
Yeah. Fam, how does Milwaukee not love Michael Redd more than Brandon Jennings? The B Jags love blows my mind, dog. I swear. I be asking much from Milwaukee. I be like, so I asked J Mart. I asked him the other day. I said, so why do y'all like Brandon Jennings? And he was like, because he a bucket. I was like, but he got cooked legitimately by every point guard of any ilk in the NBA. At least twice.
I do you one better. Why don't they still hold why don't they still hold Ray Allen as high?
Oh, I think they do. They love Ray Allen.
Nah, please.
I ain't never heard nobody down Ray Allen in Milwaukee. I've heard him down him for leaving, but not for what he did there.
Why would you down him for leaving?
Well, I mean, they from Milwaukee. They think it's a great place. I mean, listen, they from there.
Anybody remember Milwaukee early 2000s? Outside, listen, I remember going there. It was nothing to do. It was worse than Cleveland.
Hey, let's be real. Milwaukee in the early 2000s was a spot you went to on the way to the Dells.
On God, it was. You had a couple family members that stayed there. You visited and you left.
Bro, we never like. I'll say this: Milwaukee now is lit. Like I go down there, like it's a dope spot to be. But early 2000s, Milwaukee was the Brewers, and you just kept going.
I mean, listen, when your team wins a NBA championship, you better make it lit. At this point, you want to get people to come down there.
Nah, Milwaukee been busting for a few years before it was even they was a champion. Milwaukee got a nice little kick. Now I also go there because like it give you that downtown feel without like 100 people around you at all times. So I like that. I like that aspect of it. But
so still, Donovan Mitchell's how we ended up here. Donovan Mitchell, poor shot selection and all, may be on the move. Bradley Beal may be on the move. John Wall on the move.
Is he?
He ain't got no choice.
I mean, this is the problem. Who's trading for him? He's still under contract.
I mean,
he getting 47. He's getting 47 M's next year.
Somebody's gonna need. Hey, listen. If I am,
who needs a point guard that bad that I'm finna take a shot on 47 M's?
New York,
for a dude that hasn't played in 3 years.
New York. New York.
It's a great. Yeah.
Julius Randle, get him out of there. New York. Instantly.
Here's the thing, right? This is the thing.
Oh, I got another for you. You know a team that really needs one?
Who?
Like really, really needs one. They probably be really good if they do it. I don't know how this would work cap wise. Let me hold on. Let me see. Go ahead, please finish your point. I just gonna check something real quick.
Well, I was gonna say why Knicks look bad this year, right?
Horrible.
They looked good last year.
It's a coaching issue to me.
To me, it's an organizational issue.
Sell the team.
Why does that mean blow it up? In today's day and age in sports, we feel like you can never have a down season. And we know based on history that's not true. Now, do I think New York has some issues organizationally that aren't going to be fixed whether you fire Tom Thibodeau or not? Yeah, I do. But you brought Tom Thibodeau in there, and last year it was all kumbaya and sunshine.
Okay, this might work.
And this season, Legitimately, he lost Derrick Rose, and they started losing right after that. How much of an impact is Derrick Rose making on these teams? That's the real question. We need to start asking the Chicagoans, y'all, because legitimately, he lost Derrick Rose, and they immediately started to suck. Immediately started to suck. D Rose still got to stop playing with my boy. Tibbs is getting. I agree with you. I think he's going to get fired. But what I'm saying is,
Atlanta could use John Wall.
You're going to blow up New York, and if we're being real, you watch the same team make the playoffs last year. They're gonna make drastic changes in Atlanta, and if we're being real, you watch that same team make the Eastern Conference Finals last season. We can't.
Atlanta needs John Wall.
They'll never go get him because you would take the ball out of Trae Young's hands, and they don't believe you can do that. They'll never go get him.
Bradley Beal and John Wall coexisted, and they actually had a good thing. John Wall would come in and play
not the same Brad Beal though.
John Wall would absolutely come in and be a better Lou Williams.
Oh, you said bring John Wall off the bench?
No, you could start like Lou Will has started. Lou Will has absolutely started with next to Trae several times. Mm-hmm.
Lou Will can shoot though.
I would bring in John Wall.
John Wall shooting 30% from 3.
I would bring in John Wall.
Kids just be throwing players places because the money works.
No, I said this was my first thought. New York, Atlanta. If you're not gonna end up in a Lakers jersey, which they should have made the move. But I understand why Houston wanted to pick, and I understand why the Lakers didn't want to give up the pick.
I respect.
So this whole thing. First of all, let's talk about this. Hey, LeBron. Hey, Clutch Sports. Stop being up, because at this point, guess what? You got what you asked for, and the Lakers are like, "Hey, listen, we're not going to give away more of our picks to get your experiments to work.
Yeah,
we're not. So make it work, because we're not going to do it." And I respect them for it. Stick to your gun.
I respect it. I think the thing is here, when I look at players moving in the offseason, like the video, if you agree. To me, if you're a lot of these teams that were there, you need to find a way to add pieces to what's worked. In today's day and age, our answer is get rid of this piece, move this piece, play 2K. That's not how real world works. I'll tell you what the dumbest thing the Boston Celtics can do. Dumbest thing they can do is, because they're having a more down season this year, even though they went on a little run before the All-Star break, legitimately playing no one. Even the worst thing the Boston Celtics can do is say, this doesn't work with these two together, get rid of one of them. You have to find a way. Your job as an organization, your job as a team, is to find a way to make your talent work together. The reasons the Bulls have worked this season, the reason the Bulls have worked so well this season, is because even when we lost Lonzo Ball, Ayo was still a really good point guard. Kobe White's point guard play improved. They figured out how to navigate through losing the guy that's moving everything around. Boston hasn't figured that out. New York fell apart as soon as the point guard play went away. Because, even if we're talking about setting up an offense, Derrick Rose is just better than Kemba Walker at that, at a minimum. Getting the offense
Kemba Walker is going to be on the move. He was shut down for the season.
Hey, that's okay. Cardiac Kemba died in Charlotte. Leave that right where it's at.
Cardiac Kemba come off the bench for me. Now, here's the thing. Kemba could come off the bench. His contract off the bench makes sense. 47 M's, you put him in a starting lineup. I don't know why people want him to come up. He's in a starting lineup.
Hey, he ain't. He's staying right in Houston for me. I'll be like, I hope they figure out how to pay you and not do nothing. Ain't no way I'm trading you nothing for that, or you eating the contract. If Houston eat the contract, I'll take your roster spot.
The crazy thing about it is, I absolutely believe Adam Silver is going to do something about that.
He's gonna force them to play him.
Yep.
He should have. I'll say this: a lot of times,
a long time ago,
I give Adam Silver credit with a lot. He's dropped the ball on a lot of things this year. Now, granted, there's a lot of things for him to have the ball on, but he's dropped the ball on a lot of things this year. Yep. To me, John Wall's situation is absolutely a team that is publicly tanking. They should be fined. You find the Spurs when they sat their players on purpose for what's that much called?
Oh, they were doing the same thing. They were resting them.
Yeah, they was resting them. What's it? Whatever TV, it's called. Load management.
Yeah.
They rested them on a national television game. You find the Spurs. The Houston Rockets are legitimately tanking on purpose. He should at least be suited up on the bench. You told this man to stay home. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like there needs to be something done with that. The fact that Bradley Beal could play in Barclays but Kyrie couldn't. Okay, the state mandates take play
now
into that.
Wait, you wait to the end of the season to address it.
And here's my thing. Okay, so the state mandates that. So now as the NBA, you mandate that no unvaccinated player can play in New York. You have that power. I feel like he's dropped the ball on a few different things there. You know what I'm saying? So and not to listen, he's picked up the ball on a lot of things this season. And you give Adam Silver credit on a lot of stuff that he's done. But I feel like if you're going to, especially with the John Wall situation, if you're going to allow teams to not be competitive, that's how your league fails. You need to come up with a way, and I've said this multiple times, you want to have this stupid play-in tournament that's going to be whack unless a good team is in it. Okay, let's have a tournament then where you play for the first overall pick. Because, you know, what team is going to benefit most from a first overall pick? A team that might be on the cusp of being a playoff team, not the worst team in the NBA. How's Zion Williamson working in New Orleans right now? Jalen Green was Cade Cunningham was the number 1 pick this year. How's Detroit? Getting the number 1 pick does not make you a good team. It doesn't even help you become a good team in most situations. More times than not, you need multiple number 1 or multiple high round picks for that to work. Ja Morant was the final piece of Memphis putting something together for multiple years. They also made free agent moves. Multiple years. So if you're going to have tanking in your league, you're going to have a weak league. Multiple. If you're going to have tanking in your league, you're going to have a weaker league.
Yep.
You allow the tanking to happen, this is what you get. Now John Wall's making 47 M's to kick it.
Like it's judo.
Ethan, Golden State Warrior built most of his team through the draft. Absolutely. You didn't draft all those players in the same year. Steph Curry is older than Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is older than Draymond. Right? No, Steph Curry's older than Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson's, yeah, that's right. Because Draymond came in same year we took Doug McDermott. I want to say that's right because I know Thibs won. No, it wouldn't have been Doug. Year before that, Marcus Teague. Thibs wanted Draymond. Pax went out and Gar went out and got Marcus Teague. Thibs was dying. He was begging for Draymond. He loved Draymond. And he absolutely was going to make him the player he is right now, not a spot-up shooter in the corner.
With all that being said, though, where do these people land?
With all that being said, where do these people land?
You say John Wall stays in Houston. I don't know why Donovan Mitchell will try to move on from Utah. I don't see where he fits anywhere else. It's his team. Stay.
He's not out of contract though, is he?
It's some rumors that he's unhappy there, which doesn't make sense to me.
If Donovan, I don't see Donovan Mitchell moving. I don't see any movement from those players. I just
Dame,
don't.
I think is going to be on the move, and I could absolutely see Dame. I can see Dame in New York, to be honest with you. If it wasn't
know why
so,
Dame won't. You know why Dame won't leave? Because they're winning right now. He'll see them winning, and he'll be like, "Okay, now add me to that."
Here's the thing: they're probably winning because he's not added to it.
Yeah, because they're about to build the same team.
Yeah, like realistically, it's working because they're not. All of those players are getting the opportunity. Like Simon's getting his opportunity to show what he can do and stuff like that. There's more opportunity for those younger players. Unfortunately, this ain't 2K where we want this to kind of work.
Yeah,
I don't see the way he dominates the ball. It's not a bad thing though. It's not a bad. It's no knock on him. But they're probably thriving because they have more opportunity to shoot. And so unless he's going to change the way he approaches the game a little bit, which I think has to happen as well, this team is probably better off without him.
Can Dame adjust and be a 2?
Dame is a 2 in my opinion. I ain't considered him nothing else.
Well, I mean,
I don't look at Dame and say point guard. I just don't.
I mean, this is the thing though. Y'all don't look at none of the new players and say point guard.
That's not true. No. You want to know who the best point guard is right now?
Who?
Luka.
So the small forward.
They got him listed as a point guard. They introduced him as a point guard in the All-Star game.
Did they really?
They literally called him a point guard.
That's so dumb. He don't even play point guard on his team. There's 2 point guards on his team.
They introduced him as a point guard. No,
he might play point on his team. Who starts it? I thought Jalen Brunson starting now?
I think so.
Or is he still off the bench? If Jalen Brunson is still off the bench, then he might be playing point. I get you. Okay. Luka's a point. Okay.
I don't make the rules. I just report it.
Hey, listen. That's one. Like, y'all don't call Stephen Curry a point guard, and he is.
I do call him a point guard. He's a scoring point guard.
Nobody calls him a point guard. They be like, he's really more of a 2. Ice Trae is a true point. Nah.
That's cap. That man's a scoring point guard. He ain't no true point guard. Big difference.
Don't look at them assist. Just look at the assist numbers. Look at the game.
Don't fall for the drive and kick and say there's an assist.
Hey, with 2 seconds left on the clock. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dame never averages 10 assists per game. Okay.
He's never averaged that. But
how many point guards in NBA history have always averaged 10 assists a game? Like,
I will say this. He's definitely above 6 assists a game.
Yeah.
Which is point guard-esque. How can we talk about how Dame doesn't shoot that efficiently compared to his contemporaries? That's a different conversation for another day. Anyway,
it's just one of those. It's always interesting. Like, I look at like Muggs, just like, there's he's not a point guard, he's a 2. He's not a point guard, he's a 2. It's like, well, if we taking that, there's no point guards in the NBA other than Chris Paul and Lonzo Ball and Luka. I'll add Luka. Because if we being real about it, Ja Morant is getting these buckets. Now, he going to find you on the assists as well. I think Ja Morant is probably closer to a true point than of the modern guys. But Ja Morant at the end of the game is not giving you the ball. Ja Morant is going to get these buckets. Ish Smith is a true point. We in the game. Actually, Ish Smith is a scoring point, if we being honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talking about assists like Muggs are getting those kind of assist numbers in today's game. The one dude that is getting those assist numbers, y'all say can't play basketball no more.
Ish Smith.
I've always liked Ish Smith. I ain't gonna lie. We say that so much. This is probably the only show that's mentioned Ish Smith more than once in 10 years. Rubio ain't playing. LaMelo, I'll give you. I'll say this. LaMelo does look for the pass. LaMelo does look for the pass.
Last thing I want to leave you with before I have to run. Got to be a father.
Look at me.
Last thing I want to say before I got to run, or lead you with before we got to run, is now that we are getting back into the swing of things, Bulls first game back, we have a really tough schedule. We have a couple key people coming back. What are your projections for the next, how many games is it?
23.
23 games.
Second half of the season. That math don't work out.
Don't work out at all. What's your projection for it?
I look at the rest of this season for the Bulls as a work Tristan Thompson in, continue to do what you're doing, and find a way to get better defensively. I don't know how Tristan's going to impact defense. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't remember Tristan Thompson being a great defender. I did not watch a ton of Tristan Thompson defense, but I know that Taj Gibson used to give him some business down there. To me, you're working a new player into your starting lineup. You have to be.
Does he start?
You got to. You gonna bring him off the bench? Everybody keeps saying replace him with Tony Bradley. Y'all understand somebody has to come in for Vooch, right? Like, you have to me. Your power forward right now is 6'4".
I'll leave you to break that down. I would say this. I look at the next.
Oh, I do remember that. He right. Actually, yeah, in the playoffs, that's a fact. He had Taj looking dumb.
I will say this before I take off. I'm happy that we have him. I'm happy that we have some rebounding because we do know that he will help on the boards. We do know he brings an aggressive attitude to the game, which is something we said we didn't have. So we got someone who's willing to do that, at least speak up for something, right?
Yeah.
Has championship experience, which helps. It goes along with, Alex Caruso, championship experience. Ironically, they both played for the same person to get their rings, with the same person to get their rings. So ironically, so there's a little continuity there, right? Different rings, whatever, right? With all that being said, I hope Zach's healthy. If Zach's healthy, we can maintain top 1 or 2 in the East going into the playoffs. If we are dealing with working our injured players back and stuff like that, I see us dropping, but not. And this is not a bad thing. I don't want people to take this wrong. It's not a bad thing. We just have a lot of things we got to figure out. Alex coming back, Lonzo coming back. Whether or not Zach is 100%. He played the All-Star game, but did he really play? He just ran down the court a couple of times. I like it. The 360 looked good though. Whatever, right?
Looks great.
It looked great. So working in Tristan.
They gonna give us all the dunks in the game. It's like, you want to know what you missed last night?
You're dealing with all these new things there that I can see that taking a couple games to figure out, and that's cool. I'm cool with that. I can see us dropping to like a 4th seed, just working through the ebbs and flows of that. All I care about is a decent seed in the playoffs. As long as we make the playoffs, I don't care who we face. because eventually we're gonna have to face the best and the best, and regardless.
Hey, you want to ingratiate yourself with the fan base, Tristan? Take that little 1 game suspension.
Hey, Tristan, March 4th, I think, is the game.
March
Your
4th.
Your jersey's up, baby.
Take that little 1 game suspension, Tristan. You want to ingratiate yourself with the fan base? Just bow that man.
Hey, Breeze Nation, I'm gonna holler at you all though.
Hey, shout out to you, my boy. Appreciate you for pulling up as always, man. Pettiest man alive in the building, man. Mr. P Kid getting up out of here. Shout out to him, man. Injury updates, man. I mean, I look at this Bulls team, right, and I'm excited for what's to come. Billy Donovan updated us on the injuries. Lonzo Ball has ramped up his running as of late. Alex Caruso will hopefully be able to do work with a ball late this week or early next week. P. Will is working with a ball, but no contact or date to return to practice yet. But we're moving in the right direction consistently. Here's the biggest thing for me with the Bulls moving forward. Offensively, it's there. Defensively, are you going to be able to consistently be better? We've seen the last few games, they played better defense with DJJ in there. We've seen better defense with this team with some of those pieces, Javante coming back in. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those where I look at the team can put up crazy numbers without Zach LaVine on the floor. What was our last? I mean, honestly, what was our last few games here? Let's see. Schedule. Without LaVine, we put up 125, 120, 106. Did he play in that Timberwolves game? I don't think he played in that Timberwolves game either. 134. Did he play? He did play in that Timberwolves game. Offense is not our issue. How are we going to defend? Does Tristan Thompson help us with that? Does Tristan Thompson put us in a good position with that? And to me, for anybody that thinks he doesn't score, stop loving Javante Green that much. Javante is a role player. I love Javante. I love the effort he brings. I love the defense he brings. He is 6'4". Vooch needs help. He is in trouble down there. Tony Bradley's going to play. Now, how much Tony Bradley is going to play, that is going to change, right? Because you've still got Tyler Cook. You've still got some of those other guys coming off of the bench. But Vooch needs help down there. I'm sorry. When Vooch is playing up and the guy coming behind you is 6'8", and he's cutting to the basket, backdooring on Vooch because now you've come up to him. And Vooch is trying to close out on the point guards, man. Now, all of a sudden, you got a 6'8" dude cutting behind, and Javante Green's trying to have the strength to keep him from getting to the bucket. It's not going to work. So you have to have that size in there. You have to. Now, is Tristan Thompson going to be good at that? I don't know. But at a minimum, he's what, 6'9"? Take it. I'll take my chances with the 6'9" guy that can rebound. I'll take my chances with the 6'9" dude that can rebound. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, and here's the thing, right? I don't know if AK's done. I don't know if AK's done with his buyout signings. Maybe there is a Moses Brown on the way. Maybe there is something else. But at a minimum, AK came into this with trust in the team that he put together. I like that. He feels that with Alex Caruso, Lonzo Ball, and Patrick Williams on the floor, adding in that rebounder, who, by the way, hopefully Patrick Williams is good enough that Tristan doesn't have to stay in the starting lineup. Hopefully Patrick Williams is good enough that Tristan doesn't have to stay in the starting lineup, and you can bring Tristan Thompson off your bench. Now your bench rebounding is twice as good. You know what I'm saying? Like, the biggest thing to me with this team coming into this season, it was not can they score. They scored last season. Can they play defense? How are they going to rebound? We saw when this team was all on the floor together, they played excellent defense. They're one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. Top five. Top five, top five, top five, top five. Tell me how you really feel. And AK is looking at it through that lens. AK is looking at it through that lens. And I'm not mad at him for making this move. I like the Tristan Thompson move now. I like the Tristan Thompson move. I think that it adds in, and this is why I said a lot of people were overreacting at the trade deadline. Right? A lot of people were overreacting at the trade deadline. Why? All of a sudden, we weren't competitive enough. All of a sudden, we weren't going for a ring. All of a sudden, we weren't winning because of what? A role-playing big man. Now, all of a sudden, we got Tristan Thompson back in, and everybody's like, oh, my God, here we go. We've got it. We're back in this thing. We got our rebound. We can be competitive again. We can beat Brooklyn. We can beat Philly. By the way, Philadelphia, the worst rebounding team in the NBA, and they just got rid of Andre Drummond. We couldn't win without those rebounds. How are we going to win without rebounds? That's how it sounds, because I put it in the back of my mind. Because I put it in the back of my mind. I can't deal with it. You know what I'm saying? I look at how AK built this team, and I look at how AK's told you how he was looking at it. And he's kept that same energy. I'm not mad at him for that. Now, where does this team end up? How does this team finish out the season? I would say, is that facts, Marv? We just picked up Willie Cauley-Stein. When did that come through? Like right now? Nah, I'm fact checking Marv. I know Marv told me not to fact check. Shoot, I ain't got no. Oh, Philly just picked up Willie Cauley-Stein. Okay, I was about to say, hold on now. I missed that. Okay, a guy. You were the worst rebounding team in the NBA with Andre Drummond on your bench. You know what I'm saying? You were the worst rebounding team in the NBA with Andre Drummond on your bench. That's tough to do. My prediction for the rest of this season. Let's see here. Let's run through it real quick. Let's look at the schedule here real quick. We got the Hawks tonight. Dub. Bulls coming back off an all-star stint. Everybody's on a high. Dub. Grizzlies. Dub. 2-0. Miami. I'm going to say dub on that one as well. I don't think the Bulls get swept by Miami. Let's say 3-0 on that one. By the way, we going hard these next few weeks, dog. I'm talking about it's dang near a game one right after the other. Hawks. Again, dub. I'm not worried about the Hawks. 4-0 right now. Bucks on the 4th. I think the Bulls could lose that game because I think some people are going to be ejected. So I'll say that one is an L. Let's say 4-1. Sixers, dub. Bulls don't get swept. I think they get their first win versus Joel Embiid, depending on who's suspended and whatnot. Pistons is an easy win. Cavs might be a tough one, but you got 3 days in between it. Cavs might be a tough one, but you got 3 days in between it. I'll say we split the series with the Cavs 2-2. So that would be, what am I at? 5-1 right now? Right? Beat the Pistons easy. I say you beat Philly. 5-1 right now. Kings is a dub. Jazz might be an L. So let's say 6-2 to that point. Suns at Phoenix. That's probably an L. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think we got the firepower for them right now. Unfortunately for us, they're in the West, so it don't matter unless we see them in the finals. But I don't think we have the firepower for them right now. So let's say 6-3. 7-3, right? The heck did I just do? This is the part I hate doing. Win. 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, 8-1. Oh, back-to-back losses there. 8-3 right there. Raptors is a dub. 8-4. I think we beat the Bucks that third game. 9-4. Or 10-3. My bad. 10-3. Had to do that again. Pelicans, dub. 11-3. Cavs, dub. 12-3. Knicks, dub. 13-3. Wizards, dub. 14-3. Clippers might be a tough one, but I don't think Kawhi's back for that one. So I'm gonna say dub. I don't think PG's back for that either. So I'm gonna say dub. 13-3. Miami again in Chicago, dub. 14-3. Bucks again, dub. 15-3. Celtics, dub. Might be a tough game, but I'm gonna take a dub. Hornets, dub. And Timberwolves, dub. So what's that put me at? 20-3 to finish the season? I think the Bulls lose 3 games over the next 2 months. Now watch me be horribly wrong. But if I'm looking at it, a lot of these teams dealing with injury issues. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these teams dealing with and the crazy part is, it's like, it sounds cocky to say that, right? It's like, oh, come on, dog. 12-3 or 20-3. You think the Bulls are going to go 20-3 over that? But it sounds crazy to say, but I look at it and I'm just like, okay, but this team absolutely is a team that can do that. And we've seen them do that. We've seen them go on those long runs. Go ahead, write it down, Marv. 20-3. I think a lot of the answers, the questions we had, right? A lot of the questions we had are answered by bringing in Tristan Thompson and getting guys back healthy. You're hoping by the end of March, you're going to have a lot of these guys back in the building. And you've won a lot of these games without them. So now you're just adding that back into the mix. If anything, you maybe lose some games because you're trying to work some guys in, right? If anything, you lose some games because you're trying to work some guys in. So to me, it's like, I look at this team and I say that What's the one thing stopping us with Philadelphia? Well, they had a better complete team. Now it's James Harden, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid. Is that beatable? Yeah, to me it is. Philly got worse, and we don't play Brooklyn in this stretch, right? That was the one team I'm still worried about, Brooklyn. The one team I'm still worried about is Brooklyn. They got to put that team back together. They got to put that team back together. And when they get healthy, all they doing is slapping a Kevin Durant on it and calling it a day. How do they adjust to that, man? How are the Bulls going to? Hey, listen, I might be optimistic, dog, but the last time I said they're going to go through a tough stretch, the Mugs dominated it. The last time I said the Bulls going to go through a tough stretch, they dominated it. Levante said, Brooklyn, the team we beat twice already, that's not the same Brooklyn team, my boy. That's a completely different Brooklyn team over there. That is a Brooklyn team that added a lot of key pieces to it that are going to help them go much further than their record. Here's the thing, right? Who is going to go the farthest? Who is going to change things up in this at the end of this season the most? Looking at the standings right now. Trying to look at the standings. There we go. Looking at the standings right now. Miami and the Bulls tied for first. Philly's in third. Cleveland in fourth. Milwaukee in fifth. Boston in sixth. Toronto in seventh. Brooklyn in eighth. To me, Brooklyn's going to fly up the charts. To me, Brooklyn's going to fly up the charts. Man, if we win 20 games, that means the Bulls win 58 games on the season. Man, I hope my prediction is right. Man, I hope my prediction is right. We win 58 games. I started the season saying I don't think we're going to break 50. Man, that's been a fun year, dog. I'm enjoying the ride. It's been a fun year. When you look at it, man, it's just been fun, dog. I am enjoying this. Team that moves the most to me, Milwaukee. Milwaukee's ramping up. This is going to be different, right? This is going to feel different. I want y'all to see how this is going to change second half of the season. It's gonna be in the early part of the season. We've kind of gotten into those long games where it's like, man, it's a long game right here, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, how we gonna get here? Let's finish this off. Let's hurry up and get this game over with. I'm tired. I'm sick of this, dog. Like, okay, this is a good game. Hey, Bulls win. Great. Let's get to the All-Star break. It's felt like that for a little while, right? It's felt like that. This is about to be a sprint. This is about to be, we got to get to the playoffs now and have the best seed. Let's go as hard as we possibly can. This is about to be a sprint at the end of the season. Be prepared for it, y'all. Be prepared for it. I know we're getting ready on the Windy City Breeze side of things, man. Y'all see we kind of getting the studio together. We got some stuff coming today that we're going to add to it. I'm going to have some fancy lights coming now. We're going to have a little light on the Bears head. We're going to hang Aaliyah up so she's not just sitting in the chair. Shout out to that beautiful woman right there, man. We're going to put her on a nice table and something. We're getting some things together, man. I'm going to get a haircut today. I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on, man. Got like a colic going on. I told y'all I got in late last night. Got in at 1:30 early this morning. Got in at 1:30 in the morning, man. The hair won't lay down. I didn't wear the do-rag last night. Don't mind me. I've been looking at this piece right here all day. But hey, pull up tonight for the live show. We're gonna do, of course, we back to doing our live calls of the Bulls games. We are going to be announcing a special giveaway that we're going to be doing through the rest of the season. The rest of the season. Subscribers willing, right? But it's going to be with the Breeze Nation. We're not going to do it like we've done it in the past, where we've done the spin the wheel. So random mugs can sign up and do stuff like that. We've given away gift cards. I gave away a bull. I think it was a bull's head or a bear's head. One of them. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to do it like we did that. So tune in tonight. Find out what we're going to be giving away. Find out how the giveaway is going to work. We're going to make sure that it gets to the Breeze Nation. We're going to make sure that it gets to people on the live calls. And we hope to see you there. We're just announcing it tonight. We're not giving the item away yet, but we're just letting it tantalize in your minds, man, so that we can, because our goal here is to keep the subscriber count going up. Our goal is to build this thing up to 25K by the end of the year, and we need you guys' help for that. And for you guys' help, we want to give y'all a reward. We want to help y'all out, and we know that y'all support goes a long way, man. So shout out to y'all for tuning in. Marv said he bringing 10 new people tonight. Shout out to Marv, man. Marv showing big love. Jabari in the building. Shout out to you, my boy. The what else we got? Oh, next week. Do not forget. I know it's 55 people in here right now. Listen, I know it's early, so we're changing the time. We're going from 11. We're going from 6 to 9 to 11 to 1. 6 to 9 to 11 to 1. Keep that in mind, because next week, if you show up at 6 o'clock, you're going to be here by yourself talking about, Pat, what happened to the morning breeze? It's later now. So tune in. Make sure you watching that. It's still gonna be the Windy City Breeze, but we're just going with the Windy City Breeze. You know what I'm saying? The sports talk show. Let's do it. But yeah, we've got that coming as well. And I appreciate y'all for all the love, all the support you guys have shown to the channel, man. We're trying to find as many things as we can to give back to you guys, because you've given us so much, and we're trying to find as many things that we can to give back. In general, just trying to make the world a better place, I guess, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, pull up tonight. We're gonna have new. We're back. The Bulls are back. See, Red is back. You know what I'm saying? We back in the building. Bulls Nation. We'll see y'all tonight for the live call and the post game show. I should have the digs lit up in the back by then. And I appreciate y'all for showing so much love, man, as always. Robert Schwartz in the building. Shout out to you. Chicago Guards in the building. Said, nice, my job starts at 10, so I'll be able to catch the full show now. Marv said, this is the stretch run. It is, dog. Bulls Nation. Hey, y'all got to understand, this is it. This is it. So shout out to y'all, man. As always, it's your boy, Pat the Designer. Back at it again as per usual. Shout out to Petty for pulling up to another show, man. Mr. P Kid. Hey, yo, Chicago. We'll see y'all tonight for the Bulls game, baby. The Bulls are back. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace.